I'll do that later. Fudge it. Fudge it. Do you hear that? Can you hear that? There's like, it's the Milwaukee Air Show this week or whatever. So, like, planes have just been flying by like crazy. We've been getting lots of activity. The other day, I was outside. I swear to God, dude. I'm working out and I hear this really loud, low hum. And I'm like, is it a UFO? What the hell is what is happening? I thought that was it. I thought we were over with and done. I was tweaking out. All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live. I am accompanied by Mick Saltzy, the element master himself. We are live officially. Are you on the live? Are you watching it?
I'm here.
Dope sauce. Cool. How are the elements? The what's it called? The bubbly ones. Have you drank through them all already?
No, I'm trying to sparingly use them, but my order's hung up in Salt Lake City.
What?
For my packets. They're like not leaving. I don't know if it's because of wildfires or what, but
Are there wildfires right now?
yeah. Yeah, so
Well,
I'm still waiting on my shit to get here.
I always keep that relight, like just a tub of relight on hand just in case for some dumb shit to happen.
You mean this?
That's it right there. Which what flavor do you have?
Mixed berry.
Oh, mixed berry. That stuff's good. Yeah, we have like the strawberry lemonade in the house because we took a bunch of elements, but for her big competition, she also bought like a tub of relight.
Yeah, this is good shit.
Yeah.
This is what I'm using this week.
While you're waiting for the element?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice, dude.
Besides dumping salt on everything. Gotta get that potassium.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, dude, it's so underrated. Potassium's like the one thing that nobody ever talks about.
Dude, and real quick, like, so money's been tight because, you miss work and try and catch up on bills and everything. But I've realized how important coconut water is for me. And I think it's strictly just the potassium and the fibers that are in it.
Okay.
For me, it seems like if I have some coconut water that I'm using pretty regularly, it makes a big difference in hydration and all that potassium coming through the diet seems to help a lot, so yeah. It's a big deal for me.
Okay. Nice. You feel like it's just coconut water in general, or do you think it's something specific in the coconut water? You said the fiber and the potassium, or do you think like the dosage of potassium that's in it is what does it, or what?
Yeah, the ones I have, they're like 500 milligrams of potassium in it, but it's natural. It's like through food, so it's not through water, or it's not through like a supplement of potassium. But having enough nutritional potassium in there seems to make a big difference. And I would say that it's probably the fibers in the coconut water too that help retain it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something different this time while we're live. Sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna start a Q&A.
Ooh. Wonder who's showing up today.
We got 2 concurrent viewers right now, so we just broke a record. I'm just kidding. Bam. Dude, I don't mean to make this political or religious or anything like that, but did you see the Olympic thing that everybody's tripping out about?
No, what happened?
They did basically they did like the Last Supper, but like with a bunch of trans people. Is that the politically correct way to say it? Trans people, or is it non-binary or something? Yeah. They so like they were basically like mocking the Last Supper from the Bible. It's pretty crazy. Pretty wild. I'm like, I don't know if like do whatever you want, you know what I mean? But I don't know if the Olympics like is the is the stage for this,
Yeah. I don't know. I think everybody's just reaching and trying for anything they can get.
Yeah, at this point, right? It's like about all anybody can do. Yeah. All right. So before we got on, you were telling me about some struggles that you were having this week. You want to share? You want to talk about them? Said it's been a
Um,
long week.
yeah, let me do this real quick.
Viewers, anybody that's in the chat right now, put a W. Let me know that you're here. I can see that you guys are here. We need this thing active. I want to see it like Kai Cenat style. If anybody knows who Kai Cenat is, he's like a video game streamer. And his chat just goes like this. I want to see that right now. Even if you're just spamming the chat, just throw a bunch of whatevers in it. And also, I put a Q&A up in the chat, so if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in there.
Yeah. Oh, Jazan's here.
Jazandas?
Yeah, she's doing chores. What were we talking about? Struggles and pots?
Struggles and pots. Struggles.
There's all
What was
kinds
your
of struggles with
this week?
pots. Which one do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about what you've been going through this week. Oh, dude, now I have the chat there. There we go. W, but I'm doing chores, so you are my background sound. All right, let's just make a lot of like noises. No, yeah. So
I
what struggles were you facing this week?
Oh, heat? Fuck.
Heat's been bad,
Dude,
huh?
heat's brutal. I was out in the direct sun. It was hot, moving a bunch of heavy stuff. So a lot of bending over, squatting down to pick stuff up, and like being inside a container, like a metal container outside, and being on a job site. Like you still hit with pots. I still hit that initial fear. Like, oh, we're going up in elevation. Am I going to be able to breathe? And it's just all this shit that sits in the background. And it's that initial fear, that initial struggle of like, what's going to happen, you know? And I think that sets off more stuff than anything else, really.
Yeah, for sure. Something that I've been dealing with a couple clients as of recently. Oh, dude, I'm so jealous. What time is it right now by you?
Like 12:45.
Yeah, and you're having coffee, dude. It's 2:45. I was literally just thinking to myself that I'd crack a can of nitro right now. And I'm like, damn it, I'll never go to sleep. Anyways, so yeah, a couple of things I've been like dealing with a few clients is, you know, I'm a big proponent of certain types of magnesium. So like magnesium L-threonate is my favorite form of magnesium. I recommend it to every single person that I work with. Even outside of pots, just it's like a staple supplement that I recommend for people.
Yeah.
And so recently though, a couple of my pots clients have been like reporting back that they've been having knitter gritter. You made it! Wow, first time ever on time. But a couple of my clients have been like complaining about, I don't want to say contraindications, but like having side effects from magnesium L-threonate, right? But it turns out though that other things in their life have happened that probably actually were the proponents of what they were going through. So I think that's something that everyone with POTS struggles with, especially in the beginning. Dude, I still struggle with this sometimes and I got to talk myself out of it. But it's like any time that there's a new element that's added, right? There's this anxiety surrounding it, which is like, it's so common. It's so typical. Everybody deals with that. I mean, even people without POTS deal with stuff like that, right? But it's like, so for example, what happened was these two, they're kind of newer-ish clients. So like, of course, they're both around the same time going to get the supplement and they're both going to use it around the same time. So it's not unlikely that I would get both of these not complaints, but like these testimonies, you know? And so anyway, they both report back that they felt something, but there's like a whole bunch of different changes. One person changed medication, one person changed something. And then I was basically like, hey, look, you guys already take magnesium, okay? And magnesium is basically magnesium. Magnesium is magnesium, right? There's not a lot of variance that happens depending on what type of magnesium that you take. Some are more bioavailable. We can go down the rabbit hole of the very minutia difference that they make to certain actions in the body. But for the most part, magnesium is just magnesium and they get absorbed differently, right? And so I just told them, you know, it's really easy for us people as POTS to look at something being introduced into the diet or into our bodies and look at and start thinking, what if this happens, or what if that happens, or oh my gosh, I'm feeling something new, this might be happening, right? So much so that one of my clients reported back that she was having like adrenaline dumps and stuff, right? And but what I told her was this: all the metrics were better, but like by objectively. So like her heart rate is normally, when she's like chilling, normally in the 80s. It was in the 60s. And then when she's walking, normally her heart rate is in the hundreds, and it's in the 80s, right? And there might be,
any medicine?
Yeah, it might be the medicine that did that too. I'm not at the liberty to talk about what medication or anything like that, but it might have been that. But still, what I'm saying is, like with POTS, right, specifically, sometimes even when good things are happening, it's so foreign that it feels bad.
Yeah.
You know, have you experienced that?
Yeah. Like, man, like I re-experience everything in my life now. Any situation, any environment, temperature, stress, everything's different now. And once you start deep diving, I honestly believe that having help when you first start out when you learn you have POTS is the key to most of it, because you'll start to understand different parts of your life, like why you respond to stress that way, why you have such a struggle with addiction, or why you have such a hard time dealing with stress, or these little things where other people can just deal with them normally. Like it's you just re-experience everything in your past is like, okay, this is why I am the way I am, and this is how I adjust. And then from there, it's a choice.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's like what you do with the information once you get it, right?
Right.
That actually makes a difference. Let's take a second to read the chat quick. L-theanine is a must for me. It's allowed me to drink coffee again. Dope. L-theanine is one of those supplements that I think is really effective for a large variety of people, mainly just because it's amino acid. There's not much wrong that can happen. Mick Salty, nice, Gritter. It's about understanding the little things that lead to the big changes. Yeah, damn right. Damn right. Hey, and Mick, too, feel free, if you want, feel free to like address the chat whenever, too. Just say, hey, let me answer this question or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Don Blade, digestion, eat the wrong foods will set you off, heart rate, breathing. Yeah, dude, 100%. Dude, yes, 100%. You know, something that was amazing that happened this weekend, actually. We went to Jorge Badillo, greetings all the way from Mexico. Hola, ¿cómo estás, mi hermano? What's it called? Pizza is like my favorite food on earth, right? Literally my favorite food.
Love pizza.
Yeah, dude. And I just, anytime that I have pizza, I know for certain that my heart rate's going to be a little bit higher, right? It's not uncomfortable. I don't even address it. I just know that that's how I feel, right? But we went to this thing called Pizza on the Farm, and it's like 40 minutes away, and it's at an organic farm where they like give you raw milk and all this. You can get raw cheese, raw kefir, raw milk, like everything hippie, right? And so we went there, and dude, all the ingredients were organic ingredients, locally sourced, or like organic, and they give you all the ingredients too, like the dough and like all the stuff that's put in it, all organic dough, all organic mozzarella, all organic, you know, everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And this is the one time, dude, I had 7 or 8 slices. I was not beat up at all from it. 0%. So
really,
and yeah, in terms of my digestion, I was pooping a little bit more the next morning, but of course I had freaking 7 or 8 slices of pizza, right? But the point is just that yes, digestion's huge, and you need to figure out what works for you. And a lot of the additives that they put in food affect us a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what Gritter was talking about. You know, I assume, Gritter, you eat steak all the time, just the all meat diet, pretty much.
Animal based, baby.
And that's what happened to me. Like, you spend the first like week or two doing nothing but all meat, and then after that, since your body's got no sugar to try, it's got no carbs, it's got no nothing, it doesn't crave it anymore. It's getting full, it's getting all nutrition from everything else it needs. And some of you people out there that are vegan or whoever else, if your diet does not call for meat, then that's you. That's not that. I can only tell you from my personal experience or the little bit I've heard from other people, but once you start eliminating those foods and you don't let them in and you have the right nutrition, your body's not going to crave a lot of the really bad shit.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. It's yeah, but you have to give it a break for a little bit, right? Like it's like I think some people like think too that, and this might happen for a lot of people, that you know, you stop doing something for like a week and it's going to have profound effects, and it might, for some people it might, but a lot of times it takes about like 20 to 30 days to like really get the ball moving in the direction that you want it. Mitigator says more keto. I still do some veggies, but cooked in coconut oil or tallow. Nice. Let's eliminate veggies. Make beef great again. Make meat great again. Dude, I can't like, dude, as much as I love vegetables, I only really love like some. Like Brussels sprouts are the goat vegetable. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Wagyu tallow is my go-to. Wagyu tallow or Wagyu and tallow? Because if you are only eating Wagyu, you're rich. And we need to take some advice from you.
For real. Dude, I get beef tallow from the meeting place and over where we're at, and they got good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have not tried tallow yet.
It's the shit.
Really?
Dude.
It's just the animal fat, right?
Dude, I gotta be able to send you some. Like I just cook my meat in tallow and it comes out phenomenal. It's the best tasting meat I've ever had.
Nice. Wagyu tallow isn't that pricey. $25 for a few pounds. Okay, cool. Maybe I'll try that out. Bro, try tallow. It's rendered beef fat. All right.
Tallow.
I'm on it, dude. I've just been on that freaking Kerrygold butter tip, but that's it. I get Wagyu at 45 a pound. You eat way less than regular beef, so it averages out.
Nice.
Cool. All right. Guys, put some questions in the chat for us. Put some questions in the Q&A thing so we can address some stuff. Don Blade, everyone's threshold is different while waiting to see benefits from a changed diet or even negative. This is proven with people who have gluten intolerance, example. Yeah, I think I get what you're saying there. I think mostly what that has to deal with is like people's gut permeability, or people's like the way that their gut is actually like how resilient their gut is. So like if you have a gut that's damaged, you're probably not going to see really profound effects right away. But if then you have to give it time. But if you have a gut that's pretty resilient, it's not super, like I'm convinced everybody's got some degree of leaky gut for the most part. But if you have a gut that's like pretty good, you're probably going to see some changes pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Jorge Badillo, how do you manage sleep problems? Currently taking melatonin gummies. Well, I would hop off the melatonin.
Yep.
Absolutely, because melatonin is a pretty garbage supplement. And my best advice for people is to get on a sleep schedule. So even if you can't sleep, make sure that you wake up at certain times. Make sure that you're getting in bed by certain times and doing sleep hygiene things. So making sure that you are showered, making sure that you're in bed by a certain time. Phone is away from your face at a certain time. Maybe you read, but everything should be on a schedule. Aside from that, supplement-wise, I think that magnesium L-threonate is the best thing and glycine is the best thing. And if you have the ability to purchase Third Z, which is in the description, the link, click that, because that is a miracle supplement for a lot of people.
Yeah. GABA is really good for calming down. Like there's a certain dose of GABA you can take, you break open the pill and dump it in your mouth. And it almost acts like a clozapam. It just immediately just calms you down. But if some people have problems with dreams before any of this happens, like I have night terrors, I got PTSD, so I have sleep issues just in general. But I noticed with GABA, you get a lot more vivid dreams. So if you're starting to dose GABA and then you're starting to have all these crazy ass fucking dreams, it's most likely from the GABA. As to where melatonin is used to set a sleep schedule, but it's not a long-term supplement to take. Right. Melatonin is like, you want to go to bed at 9 o'clock every night. So you take your melatonin for maybe a week. You get your sleep schedule set at 9 o'clock at night, and then after that, you don't take the melatonin. It's to help organize and get in a sleep schedule.
Yep.
Magnesium is really good for relaxing the muscles in the body, which helps people with POTS because at nighttime we don't really relax as much to actually go into a REM sleep or something. So magnesium helps, which is what Thirdsy's got in it, and Thirdsy's a really good product.
Well, so
Outside of
Thirdzy has magnesium, it has collagen,
Yeah.
it has L-theanine, it has GABA in it, and it has,
Yeah.
I think one more thing. I think there's something else. Anyway, sorry.
Wait a minute. Wait. Somebody just asked, is Element really worth it? Everyone
Uh-oh.
in the POTS community seems to go crazy
Mick
for
is
it.
about to flame you, dude.
Dude, that shit right there, man.
Yeah.
I got a whole fucking wall of it. Element is
right
the
in
best shit I've ever come across.
Yeah. All right. So let's give a little. I'm gonna give you, knitter gritter. I'm gonna give you a little. What's it called? A little clinic on why Element is so good. It's not just the fact that it's sodium in it, and it's not just the fact that it tastes good, but it's the fact that the dosing of everything is like perfect, right? And it's the potassium magnesium to what's it called, to sodium ratio that's so great. And to be honest with you, yeah, I think it's like only $1 or something a day if you're using 1 packet a day. And if you're using even 3 packets a day, it comes out to like $4 a day, which is really nothing compared to the other shit that you probably buy or the subscriptions that you have. So I guess it just like really, it depends on like what you value, right? Like I spend $100 some on Element every single month at the beginning of the month, and I use about 3 packets a day, maybe 4 if I'm feeling spicy. And Rob Wolf is the GOAT for real.
Yep. Shout out to Rob. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah.
No, it's really everything that Element puts into it is just everything you need. Like I just haven't come across a better, and I've looked for the replacements because when you first get into it, you're like, well, this shit's expensive. But when you start breaking down even the sparkling water cans that they've got, you're only looking at like a few bucks a can. So it's 72 for the box. You get 4 different flavors if you want. And then it works out to like $3 a can. It's cheaper than energy drinks. It's cheaper than some bottles of water.
Yeah, dude, I was literally just going to say, some people can justify drinking a $4 energy drink, but like won't buy a thing of Element or whatever. And it is what it is. Again, it's just whatever you value more. Like, what do you value spending your cash on, you know? Don Blade says, interesting. Why is the potassium and magnesium so low in Element? I don't think it is low. I think it's right where it needs to be. The magnesium, I mean, that could be argued for sure, but like you don't want to take a high dose of magnesium in a drink in the middle of the day or in the beginning of the day. It's just probably not the best thing to do. Magnesium L-threonate, even if you take magnesium L-threonate in its true form, elemental, it's only 140 milligrams of magnesium. That's not a lot either, not a lot, but most people would be taking it for sleep. So I like taking a big dump, LOL.
Don.
Nice. Yeah. Something that you mentioned was that you were dealing with a bunch of heat exposure this weekend or this week.
Yeah. So we had work on Friday and I was about 3 hours out in the heat, and knowing that we had to go out there, on my way out there, I pack an Element can and I start drinking it before we even get out there, and I'm dosing with water. Throughout that whole thing, I got dizzy. There's times where I felt like I was going to pass out. You see a little black spots in your eyes and stuff. And it gets a little nerving, but you just got to know your limits. You got to know when to, stop and take a rest, or, hey, give me a second, or, you just really got to know your limits. And you can't expect, I'm on a job site with a bunch of other dudes. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like shit's got to get done. So, so I'm like, hey, give me a second. Everybody talks shit, but you just got to put things into where you need them for you. And then you got to still move through those moments. Later that night, I was fucking wiped out. The next morning I was tired. That heat took a lot out on me. That night I had trouble swallowing and stuff. Mm-hmm. So that night I took a little extra rest. I took a little more rest to get kind of recovered better. Made sure I went to bed on time, got my sleep in. And that's how you do your recoveries. Your recoveries are every single day. So if you go to work or something and you just completely run through it, you've got to give your central nervous system time to relax. You got to take care of that shit, because if you don't, then the next day and the next day after that, you're going to have symptoms that are going to pop up, but you got to know what to do for each one of these symptoms that come along.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I feel like a lot of people just don't really have a good grasp on like where their limit is for them, and also where their like lower threshold is. So like they don't really know how much they can do, and they don't know how much they can't do, right?
Yeah.
CC29585, acclimation is important for heat and cold tolerance. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Dude, even yesterday for me, I had like a 30-minute really intense cardio workout, and I decided to do it at home outside in the sun. And it was like 92 degrees out. UV index was 9. So literally my skin is just burning the entire time. And I was already out there for a good hour before I had to do this. And then of course, I put everything directly in the sun. And like me, I'm like, this is going to be part of my challenge. I'm going to see how long it takes for me to like die, you know?
Yeah.
And I got through half of it, and I had to move all of the shit in the shade. I just had to. Like even like my girlfriend too, she's like, oh, I can't, you know, this is really hot out. I can't do this or whatever, you know? So like everybody needs to know their limit, but sometimes, you know, you have to wait until you get to the other side a lot of times, right? Like you have to wait until you're feeling better, till you're back to normal routine, normal. Like I live life on normal mode now, so I can do some things to be able to test myself and see where I'm at, you know?
Yeah.
Don Blade, so damn true. Know your limits. Been there too many times. When I changed from day shift to night shift, it was like being in paradise. Yeah, some people are just nocturnal. No, my sleep went to shit. Yeah. Please talk more about the trouble swallowing. I had no idea that's a POTS issue. All right, Mick, that one's for you.
Yeah, I get this. There's times where it'll feel like your tongue's bigger. I don't know if it actually is or not, but it feels like your tongue's bigger. Your throat feels weird. And then you go to swallow and you can't really swallow right away. Like you got to get some water to swallow with, or maybe your swallowing reflex just doesn't work at all. And that's a panic mode for me. That's a mode that's like, oh shit, you know? But in those moments when that panic hits, you just, okay, grab some water, do whatever you need to do to relax, just not freak out. The second that you freak out is when a whole slew of stuff will come in. I mean, it can lead to a panic attack. It can lead to you just ending up on the floor, just not doing great at all. So it's tough to work with, but it's still those are those times where you get to practice what you're going to do in this moment to handle it and how you're going to deal with it. So, but yeah, I've had those issues before.
Okay, so he just said something that I think is really important. I've had those problems, but was told it was from GERD. Okay, I've had those problems too in the past, and I didn't know it had anything to do with POTS syndrome. It had zero clue. Like, dude, even, and I don't know if this is like the swallowing issue thing, but I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like eating pork rinds, and I can't swallow the pork rinds. But it's like, but dude, they're so dry. So I don't know if it's like a swallowing issue or if it's like a pork rind issue, right? Regardless, it doesn't matter because I've had the issues before. Knitter gritter, the thing that I have noticed with people with POTS is that most of us have some sort of gut issue. Most of us. So like, I think probably it's an effect of GERD too. I think it's probably an effect of acid reflux because they typically go hand in hand. From what I've seen, from all the people that I've talked to. Now there's going to be some idiot on the internet that's going to be like, well, I have POTS syndrome and I don't have acid reflux. You know those times that your heart hurts and there's like a burning in your chest, you think you're having a heart attack or whatever, and you don't know what it is, you think that you're having a heart attack? That's probably GERD. It's probably acid reflux. A lot of people don't even know how acid reflux like manifests itself. It could be that you're just getting the swallowing issue, you know, and that's your sign for acid reflux. A lot of people don't really know. Jorge,
and see, I haven't had a lot of GERD and stuff with my, like, I don't get heartburn, I don't get GERD. If I eat too late and fall asleep with my head down, I get food that comes back up, but I don't really have anything outside of that.
Yeah, I have the issue where I for sure have GERD. I've had it like my entire life. And so like when I wake up in the morning, sometimes my gut feels like bloated and distended, and it's because of that. Like I'm laying down and I just had like a smoothie or whatever an hour and a half ago or whatever, you know. Um Jorge Badillo, really inspired by your mindset. I think he meant Mick, not Nick. I'm a video game tester and can barely finish my shift.
Wait, who's a video game tester? Jorge?
Jorge Badillo.
Dude, that's what I'm
That's
talking
tight.
about.
That's a
That's
pretty cool
badass.
job.
But you got to sit down a lot, man. So like even during these lives, you see me fucking move around all the time. It's because sitting down isn't the most comfortable. So when you're sitting down all the time doing your video game testing, your blood's not moving anywhere. Like
Yeah.
you got to get up and you got to walk around. You got to move around and stuff. So try breaking up your times in testing to get up and move around and get more steps in and stuff. That'll most likely help get your blood going, your blood moving around, because I think that happens when I'm at the computer a lot and I'm stuck here, and or if I'm sitting in front of the TV or something for a long time, I get those same issues and stuff that pop up. So try moving around a lot.
Yeah. Why do you think I have this stand-up desk? Right.
Yeah.
I've had those problems, but was told it was from GERD. That's literally GERD. Okay. Acclimating, which brand? I can't find the link. Don, I'm not really sure what you're talking about there, buddy. Do you know what he's talking about, Mick?
I think he's just talking about acclimating in general. So acclimating is using whatever your environment is to adjust to it. That's like if you're going to go climb a mountain, you don't just go to the mountain and climb up the mountain. You go up the mountain a little bit, you acclimate to that level, let your body get used to it, and then you go up higher because your body needs to adjust in whatever your environment you're in. So acclimating is just putting yourself in situations that aren't the most comfortable, but so that it can get used to it.
He's asking about a link for something, though. I agree with what you just said 100%. Yeah.
Oh, Dawn, I had the same thing. I put in the chat, what's GERD? I meant like, because Gritter said that's literally GERD, but I didn't know what he was talking about.
Oh, okay. Oh, the supplement is Third Z, Don. That's in the link is in description. I think should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sleep stuff.
Yep, it's labeled "Get Better Sleep." Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I would try it out. It has GABA. Use my code COUNTERCULTUREZZZ and you'll get 20% off. Culture ZZZ. Actually, that link should just take you straight to my thing. Jazan, I saw an article of a guy who had mounted his monitors under a table and he would do work lying down with a sturdy laptop for his keyboard. What the frick?
I mean, you can do that. Look, you can adjust your life to what you're dealing with and just completely accept the fact that you're going to be laying in bed forever and you're never going to improve, or you can adjust yourself to your environment. So like laying in bed and doing that on really bad days when you need to get something done, totally legit. But any other days outside of that, don't do it because you're just going to make everything worse.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the argument here, like with most things, right? It's like, do you want to lay down and die, or do you want to like get up and actually like fight the thing? So it's like, I used this example last week, but for those of you that didn't watch our live, I had this episode of what's called the laryngospasm when I was working out last week or 2 weeks ago, where my throat just closed up on me after doing like an intense run. And so I had a couple options. Like it made me afraid to like work out again, right? Because I work out, I'm a competitive CrossFitter now. So I work out pretty hard, and this laryngospasm happened because I was working out super hard. I have GERD, like all these different things, whatever. So I had the option to let this thing like crush me for the week and not work out hard, and like even just let me be in my mind and not continue to push the way that I do. Or I could overcome it and be like, hey, I'm just going to work out. If it happens again, it happens. It's not going to kill me, right? And that's kind of the mindset that I think you guys need to take with POTS, is that this thing isn't going to kill you. So you might as well try to adjust everything around you to you instead of you to the world. Yeah. Oh, wait, no. The other way around. Adjust yourself to the world rather than everything around you. Like my advice definitely would not be try to find a way that you can lay down to work. My advice to people would be find a way to do your work.
Yeah, and she mentioned he does, 45 minutes of workouts every day, but that's not counting in like how much is he getting up to walk around throughout that day? What's his
Right.
step count? What's his diet? What's his supplements? What's his hydration level? I mean, if your blood vascularity is good, if your blood volume is good, you can avoid a lot of symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I think it's like, it's interesting because like some people, and I'm not saying that that's this guy or that it's Jazan or anything like that, but some people just want to do the bare minimum, and then it's like,
Yeah,
okay, if you do the bare minimum, you're going to receive the bare minimum. You're not going to
yeah,
get back to normalcy. You're not going to get back to normal life. And cool, dude, different strokes for different folks. I just choose,
right.
and I think that you just choose to get back to actual normal life. We really want to live a real fulfilling, like full life. And to some people, it might be just laying down is fulfilling to them. I would probably argue that that's not, you know what I mean? But you got to go back to work. You're back at work. You have made adjustments for when you're at work and things are tough. And then hopefully when the weather gets like better, you're not going to have to make a bunch of adjustments, as the time goes by. Me, I've worked out, got myself to a place where I'm better and I don't have to make adjustments for like damn near almost anything. So Jorge goes, now that you
Yeah.
guys are feeling better, do you ever consume alcohol? I did for a long time, even after my POTS diagnosis. It kind of gave me like what's it called, liquid courage to go out into public again, right, and to go do things. Like if I was drunk, I didn't feel symptoms. I just didn't. Um, I don't know
Yeah.
why that is. I don't know what the deal with that was, but
But if you're drunk, you're calmer.
yeah, that's true. That's well, depending on the situation, for sure. We, you
Well,
know, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
for sure, I get what you're saying. Like as you're drinking, you're having a good time or whatever. You're definitely calmer. Yeah, absolutely. Um, but dude, I just think that we're I don't know. I just think the world's in a place now where everyone just kind of knows, like, just don't drink booze, just don't booze. You know, I think booze is like on its way out,
Well,
hardcore.
it's like it's my thing was weed.
Yeah.
I love smoking weed. And when I got better and I started throwing everything in that could cause an issue, weed was one of those things. And I can tell you within the first 2 days of smoking, then that was just off a pen. That wasn't out of a bong or a pipe or nothing. It was probably about the cleanest as you could get, picking which oil's going to work, which one's cleaner, and I got the super cleanest stuff. And I could smoke weed again. And once I noticed that I could smoke weed again, I started taking it a little further. And I noticed that when I kept smoking, it affected my central nervous system.
Mm.
That was the big factor of it. So my blood volume was fucking on point. Hydration was on point. Diet was on point. So it's possible to drink or it's possible to smoke weed, but you've got to have certain factors into play. And then how much you do that is going to affect it too. And then there's also the factor of, what's it doing to you that you're not aware of? And I think that for me is what took a couple weeks to kind of realize is it affects the central nervous system. And by affecting that, then the rest of my autonomic system is dysfunctional to an extent. So I'll get symptoms from shorter breath to panic attacks to whatever, but it all leads to it. So you might be able to do it here and there, but you also got to just understand like what you're putting into it. And alcohol's, it's a solvent. So when it goes into the body, it's literally to strip away and destroy things. It's not to help anything.
Yeah, I also think damn dude, I was gonna say something. Frick. Brain fart on 10, dude. I just got like 17 text messages. What were you saying, dude? What you said dude, it
Yeah,
just
with when
completely
it
left my
comes to
head.
when it comes to weed or alcohol or even coffee,
Yeah.
like you're gonna have an effect whether you
Yes.
know it or not. Just
Yep.
just like when you go out and eat a brownie, the sugar in the brownie, what the brownie's made with, you might not realize it right that second. It might
Mhm.
take a day or two, but within those 2 days you're going to notice a difference in symptoms. And And from there, it depends on how close you're tracking everything. So, how detailed are you to notice what symptoms even are? Like,
Yeah.
symptoms to start when you first get into this is shortness of breath and, all the stuff we have struggles with. But outside of that, the symptom I had was that pain in my left arm right here, or
Yeah.
pain in my foot. I didn't even know that was a symptom of it until 3 months into it. And then when I cleaned everything up and started to go back in, I'm like, oh, that's why that hurts. Cause that hasn't been hurting for 3 months.
Yeah. Okay. So another thing that I think is like, you
But
guys, let's remember this. Let's remember that your diagnosis of POTS syndrome is not like a for life damning. Like you have no idea whether you'll live with this thing forever or not. No one has any clue. There the early research on dysautonomia was that they saw that people with dysautonomia, it normally goes away on its own at some point. Where everyone, like every single one of you are in this journey, if you're dealing with POTS right now, you're in the stage of trying to figure out, do I want to do what it takes to recover sooner than later? Because if you just don't do anything if you don't do anything for it, then it's likely that you'll still recover, but it could be 6 months from now, it could be 2 years, it could be 5 years. You don't know. So it's on you to like take the steps to recover a little bit sooner. So the question about alcohol, right? If you're feeling better, it might not be that you're actually fully clear. You've just managed your symptoms. So do you really want to take the risk of drinking alcohol again? Do you really want to risk the feeling like absolute dog shit the next day, or the sudden onset of symptoms again? And then you're reminded of why you felt like shit the entire time that you were like sick. Do you really want to take that risk or not? And again, it doesn't make you a good or a bad person. It's not for me or Mick to tell you yes or no to. It's just like, it is what it is, right? But I will say this. If you have POTS right now and you're asking the question of whether or not you can drink alcohol later on, you're probably asking the wrong question, right? You're in a place where you're
well,
wondering,
it's
like to me, right? It's like this this shouldn't be part of the motivator, right? And I understand that some people, there's different strokes for different folks. But when you have POTS, you should be looking to be healthy. Worry about the alcohol when you're healthy. Worry about it later. You get what I'm saying? I have
yeah,
pretty
and you
strong
and you're
opinions on
right.
alcohol
You are.
consumption.
It comes from having issues with alcohol. Like,
Yeah.
I had issues with alcohol a lot of my life, like not drinking and stuff, and that's a good majority of the reason why I don't drink at all. Like, I'm sure I could probably get away with going out and drinking one night, but the issues I get from that is just not worth it.
Right.
And outside of that, when I first got diagnosed with POTS, I'm not gonna lie, like everybody out there, I get on Google, how to smoke weed if you have POTS.
Yeah.
How do I keep smoking weed even though I have POTS? Like, and there is nobody out there that really understands that. And I figured out why, and I figured out how to. And I haven't got on here and said anything about it because I don't want people to think that, yes, it's possible to do it if you have POTS, because anything's possible, but there's a limit. Like, I have addictive personality. So whether it's working out or eating clean or drinking or smoking weed, or, you can be addicted to anything. You can get addicted to jerking off or watching TV. Like, it's all the
Yeah.
same. It's an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, if you're over there every day and you're watching TV just nonstop, you're not really going anywhere in life. So me personally, if you're that dead set on drinking alcohol, it's your life, it's your choices, and it's going to be your path to kind of see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else in the world is going to tell you that it's not good for POTS. At the end of the day, it comes down to you and what's worth it and not worth it to you. So, and you're going to have stuff like the music festival you've got coming up, and like it depends, man. It's real. it's a real tough one because going out and just doing anything without alcohol is not really in the norm, so to speak. It's becoming more normal, but it's tough to go out there and have pots and not be able to drink and do all this stuff, or I've got to have this certain food. But I just kind of like, fuck it, I don't give a shit.
I mean, oh man, dude.
It's a tough one. It is.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be this way, but like, dude, you're dealing with pots. You know, like why is the alcohol so important? You know,
Well,
the
it's that's what everybody is now. It's what they've lived off of for so long that when you have something that comes along, it has to scare you enough for you to actually quit or try.
right.
And so if you're still looking for a way to drink or smoke weed or whatever, then you haven't been scared enough. It's got to get worse. My grandma had pots, never knew it. And
Yeah.
she wouldn't give up coffee. She wouldn't give up the fried foods. She lived her life exactly the way she wanted to. She smoked cigarettes, but I can tell you right now, it was not a fun life at all.
Yeah, it's like it's just like and I'm not trying to be rude, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just like it just screams to me like the importance of actually like getting better just isn't there. And like it you're not like you're not actually worried enough about your health like that you're going to do the things that it takes necessary in order to get better because you're already considering doing something for 3 days that's not healthy. You know, in general, it's just gonna make your pots
Yeah.
worse. Like, look, dude, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You're going to a 3-day music festival in November. You're going to feel like absolute shit. And to be real with you, like, because of my morals and my ethics, I'm not gonna give you ways to make sure that you can get through it if you're gonna consume alcohol. Because I don't have the answer. All I can say is drink water. Make sure you drink water. Make sure you take sodium, and then that's about it. You know, for me, because that's what I would tell somebody who didn't have POTS is just make sure you're drinking a lot of fluids. Don't do any drugs. That's probably not a good idea with POTS either, like MDMA and stuff. If you're going to like one of those festivals, it's probably not a good idea. Mushrooms maybe would be an okay idea. I don't know. If you're in Mexico, um,
Yeah,
go for it, man.
it's tough, dude. It is, and it's you're right. It's the world we live in today is hard. It's tough because there's so much shit that gets thrown at you every day between your work and your family life and your friends and the fucking media, the news, and all the bullshit that's going on. It's tough to not just pick up what you've done before to handle situations. And a lot of dealing with pots for me personally was dealing with my life or myself. It wasn't necessarily, okay, you just need this sodium and this stuff and you'll be fine. It was get rid of the stress, get rid of the people that are affecting you, put up the situations that are healthy and happy.
Yep.
Put more stuff in your bound. That was the stuff that helped me. The sodium, potassium, magnesium, the keeping fluids and your diet, that's the easy part. Because you just got to consume X amount of whatever to get in this. But outside of that, your real struggles are your discipline or, you know, getting rid of people that affect you
Yep.
or changing your environment to suit you better. That's the stuff that helps your pots more than anything. Because if there's one thing that can set my pots off, my sodium, hydrate, say everything is in check, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've got this stressor that affects me in a certain way. That stressor is going to cause me symptoms, period. So it just depends on what you're really doing to adjust things. You can adjust the best you can and then challenge your life at it. Like go at life, move through it, see what happens, see how you react, do what you need to do. Laying down with your feet up helps if you're struggling that bad. Outside of that, man, this is all you guys. That's the big part of Justin's program and understanding it was I can't just go in full force. I have to slow down. I have to know and find where my limits are. I can't just rely off Justin to tell me you went too hard that day. Oh, okay, I'll go easy the next day. No, I have to realize that stuff before it hits that point.
Yeah. Tell us your weed trick. I think we're gonna do that on a whole different live, like a whole live about that. Definitely don't do Molly. Molly's probably really
Yeah.
not a good idea for pots. Jazand, yes, Mick, my routines are down, but the outside stuff is harder to nail. Is the outside stuff? Is she
Yeah.
referring to you saying like you have like there's outside influence, like with like family or like that type of stuff? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, let's take for example, like say your routines are down. You
Mm-hmm.
got all of your hydration, you got your sodium, you got your supplements, you got your foods and everything. If I have an outside stressor come in that involves somebody I personally know, and say that stress is a certain type of stress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people it might be money stress, some people it might be work stress, some people it might be personal relationship stress. There's going to be certain types of stress that are going to affect you, and that stuff can kind of throw a wrench in everything else you've got. And that's the hard part, is adjusting your life situations to suit you better. And sometimes that means getting rid of certain people. Sometimes that means changing your job. Sometimes that means adding in a supplement to help deal with your stress. Like, and stress is a different thing. It's, there's certain supplements out there, like ashwagandha is really good for guys to take. Some people.
Yeah.
And then there's different types of adrenal supports for women that are better for women. So you really, a lot of this is understanding that you got POTS, but also understanding different parts of your life, because that stuff will affect you more than just your diet or not having enough sodium or hydration. Say like I skip out a day on my hydration and sodium, right? I can get through about a day or two and not really have much of a problem. Eventually that hydration in my body is going to kind of go away, and then it's going to just get bad outside of that.
Yeah. I guess I want to touch on like the outside influence stuff, right? Like the family and the money and all that. You guys, look. Does the big brother come out or no? Saying no to fun things that will flare me is what I have the hardest time with, but I'm getting better at it. I tend to forget how shit a flare is, but I'm remembering more and more. Haha. Okay, so
Yeah.
because it's just such a common trend, not even just with people with pots, right? Where you guys, oh God, I just get so fired up. I don't want to go off on a freaking yelling tangent right now. Like I just don't want to do it. Like, but I feel like I have to do it. Dude, delay the gratification. If you're, I mean, no times is it better to feel good now if it's going to F you up later than it is to say no so you can feel better later. There is not one instance in life ever that you can show me that that's ever been a positive instead of a negative in any realm of life of history, ever. There's never been a decision right now that that's going to be like, God, this was really fun that I came to this event, and then you're messed up for a week or two, rather than, hey, I can't do it right now, and then you feeling better later, and you're able to do all the things then. Then you're able to do all the things. I just don't understand. And Jazan, I'm not coming at you with personal attack. This is just people in life in general that like really upset me. It's like, why? All the people watching, every single person, why? Why is there such an issue with saying no? Who do you owe that you have to say yes to everything to? Why do you even feel it necessary for you to feel good all the time? There's this debate that I've had with people all the time where like, life is about feeling good. Life is about having fun. I'm like, really? Is it? Because it seems like there's a lot of suffering in life. And for some reason, the suffering...
Yeah, to me, life is about suffering.
Right. And then the flip side to this, right? The cool thing is, usually on the other side of suffering is happy. Usually on the other side of suffering is good. There's the yin and the yang, right? The yin and the yang. You have to suffer to feel good. You have to. It's a non-negotiable. It's not some like weird freaking hippie shit that I'm talking about. It's always like when you work out, you're suffering during a workout. What happens? You become healthier from that. You grow muscles. You make strength adaptations. It's like when you work harder in business, what happens? You make more money. The outcome is the good thing is the outcome that comes from it. So like I've never understood this notion because even my friends, they'll like tell me like, man, you know that you can take a break from working, right? You know that it's just one drink, right? I'm like, you're such a pussy. You are such a pussy. Why are you telling me that? Like, you're just telling me that because it's some sort of insecurity that you have, that you wouldn't be able to put your head down on a Saturday night in your laptop and work and make the outcome that you want happen. That's why you're telling me that. It has nothing to do with anything else. So my whole point here is this. Just say no. It's not that difficult. It's not bad. It's you don't owe anyone else your presence, regardless of what people would like you to think or the guilt that you feel in your head. You don't owe anybody that. When you get better, when you truly get better, right? When you truly get better, then it's like, okay, I can go do everything. I can say yes to everything. But why would you compromise yourself? Why would you put yourself in a compromising position? Well, congrats on your willpower.
So
I'm mostly battling my ADHD when it thinks of fun things to make or other projects. Wait, hold on. Hold on, just on.
oh God.
Wait, hold on.
Wait,
Yeah,
hold
okay,
on.
go.
All right, you want to go or you want me to go?
Well, let me just say this. I mean, willpower is just not a thing. You just like I understand that it's like objectively, literally a thing, but everyone has limited willpower, right? Just like you said, that guy who like made the lay down desk in order to to be a part of his life, his process, so that he can get better or whatever. This is literally the same thing. It's not willpower. It's you're forming your life around what you need to happen. So you're making daily routines. This is part of the routine. Saying no is absolutely a part of your routine. Say no for now until you get better. Then when you get better, you say yes. And also, by the way, I have ADHD. I've been diagnosed with like everything under the sun besides schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. You know what I mean? Like I'm also in that wheelhouse. So I don't think that these labels are reasons or excuses to say that we're not doing the things that we should be doing. You know, that's another thing that I've never understood. I used to see kids in the classroom all the time blame shit on their ADHD. I'd be like, dude, just shut up. Shut up. Like I have ADHD and I was bad ADHD, especially as a kid, like bad, right? I barely passed high school. I had to basically beg a teacher to let me clean her room so I could get my diploma. You know what I mean? Like I'm king ADHD, but I did the things that were important to me, right? You do the things that are important to you. So like, and so I'd always like be like, they'd always like blame things on like their diagnosis. I have ADHD, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, no, that's not a worthy explanation for like what you're doing because you still have autonomy. You still have choice in the world, right? Stay active, eat protein, and drink water, basically. Anyway, Mick, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Multitasking.
Me too.
Jazan, I get it. I do, man. I have PTSD, I have ADHD, I have OCD, I have POTS, I got a bunch of stuff. Let me figure out where to start. So we'll take Justin, for example, right? All the stuff he says, like, fuck your shit, your excuses, that's how he has built and molded a model of himself to exist, to succeed. Okay? That's Justin. Person B,
that's a good way to put it.
They might be a really calm person that is able to be disciplined, do all their shit, whatever else. They still have struggles that they deal with too, but person B might just be quiet about them, never talk about it, never say it. So you've got different types of people. And the one thing with POTS that I've noticed is it's good to understand what you need to do for your POTS, but you also have to understand who are you as a person with POTS. So if you have to find out who you are, how you tick, and then you have to find out the routes to success around it. Because I have really bad ADHD. When I get an idea, I get into hyper focus and I just go nuts and then I'll stop. So when I hit that stopping point, if it's something I actually need or want to succeed on, then I'm out there looking for ways around on what to do with that. What happens when I run into this with my ADHD? What happens when I run into this with my OCD? What happens when what are my workarounds for all this stuff? So it's not knowing what's going on with you, whether it's PTSD or ADHD, is just knowing the particulars to do to work around that. That's all that is. That's only a diagnosis to say, this is what you have. So now go learn about it so that you can work around it. Because some of the most successful people in existence have ADHD, have OCD. Look at Elon Musk. Like a lot of people that are super successful, they have just found workarounds around their own issues because everybody out there is fucking nuts. They have their own shit they're going through, and they've just found workarounds. Some workarounds are really healthy.
Yes.
Some workarounds are really unhealthy, and it just works temporarily. But I think that's the kind of the hindsight to this whole thing is understanding who you are, how you tick a little more, and finding your workarounds for what's in your life.
Can I say something real quick?
That's all that's said.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
Okay. Dude. Yeah. Okay. Ever since I was a kid, I was diagnosed with anxiety, depression, all blah, 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 all this stuff, right? I always thought it was retarded. Like, sorry. I always thought it was retarded when people were like, God, I have depression. I'm damned to this. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then like the mental health and chronic illness community, like those two things, right? The chronic illness and mental health, communities. What I don't know how to say it. Those two communities, the communities of people, the way of thinking to me is astonishing because what you just said is that they are diagnoses, so now you work around the diagnosis. It's just like in real life, a PT will tell you, you broke your shin? Okay, let's figure out a workaround. We can still do things. So let's figure out a workaround to become healthy, to do the things. So when people like, and Jajan, I promise you, I'm not just like taking a dig at you. This is just something that really eats me up inside all the time. My cousin has like crazy different multiple whatever diagnoses of this stuff, and it just bothers me so much that everything is an excuse because of her diagnoses or whatever. And even my father, my own dad, constantly like, blaming stuff on his diagnosis too. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, when are you guys gonna give it up? Like mental health and chronically ill community, like when do the excuses just fall to the wayside? Like you have ADHD, guess what? That's a superpower. ADHD is a superpower. Mick, what you just said about you have ADHD, when you get an idea, you get hyper focused and then whatever, right? That's what you just said. And then like it ends or something. Bro, imagine being able to dial that energy into a project that you can finish in one day. Like for me, I have ADHD. I'm so aware of my ADHD. And when I'm having like a freaking like, one of those, everybody knows ADHD. You get like these episodes where you're like, damn it, I'm manic right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you get that, you put it into something productive. Like for me, it's like, dude, as soon as I'm feeling that, boom. Okay. I'm like, what project have I been lacking on that I know I need to get done? Dude, done. I had like one of those episodes the other day and I finished my website in a day and a half. I finished my website. I just haven't made it go live yet. And that's literally like, I just asked my girlfriend to bring my wallet, here so that I could go live, so I could put the website live while we're on live because I forgot to make it live. I didn't get a domain name for it or whatever. So it's like, I just, for me personally, right. And I know that like I'm hyperbolic with the way that I speak sometimes. And it sounds like I'm being like a freaking, like crazy person right now because I am, because I'm crazy. But my point is that not everything can be an excuse, right? Like you can't use, like POTS can't always be your excuse. ADHD can't always be your excuse. Anxiety can't be your excuse. Depression can't be, because dude, if you just constantly have excuses for everything, it's like, why even go to the doctor? Why even listen to me and Mick? Why listen to all these people? Because it's like, you're going to come up with an excuse why not to do the thing anyway. So it's not even worth it. You know, and it's definitely not just Jazan. Trust me. It's like I get emails all the time. And then I'm responding to the emails. And they're like, well, I can't do this because of this. I'm like, bro, you didn't even try. So I don't even know what you emailed me for. Yeah, but you're right. I developed this like hard mentality in my head and stuff like that because there's a way for me to survive.
But if that works for you, then you just keep doing that. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
That's what everybody's got to understand is you got to find the thing that works for you and then do that. It doesn't have to match somebody else's.
God dang it. This is what I'm Jazan, I promise you I'm not harping on you, but you're doing the exact thing that I'm talking about. Because watch, as soon as I said all that, no, listen, doing the things in one day hyper focus is exactly what gets me in flare. I need to not do that. Every single thing, Jazan, it's not only you.
Well, hang on.
No, I agree with her. I agree with her, by the way. I agree with her. However, every single thing that
No. I wanted to say something to her comment.
Okay, well, everything that I could say, there can be an argument for. You get what I'm saying? Go for it, Mick. Sorry.
Well, she mentioned doing the things in one day hyper focus is exactly what gets me into flares and need to not do that. Yeah, that's right. But okay, so I have ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
There's times where I go to do stuff and I don't get them done.
Yeah.
That's okay for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I accept that I have ADHD. I know what happened and I go, okay, that's fine. I didn't accomplish this. Tomorrow's a new day or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you got to give yourself the space to deal with your stuff, but not to stress out and feel bad about it. Because if you stress out and you feel bad about it and you don't accomplish your goal, you're going to have symptoms from the stress. You know, if you're understanding of who you are and how you tick, you're going to go, okay, well, I didn't get that done. You know, my excuse, and you got to say this to yourself, my excuse is my ADHD is the reason this happened. Or my excuse is that I'm stressed out. Or my excuse is I'm having a flare up. You got to understand everything that stops you from your goals. My excuse for being late for work today was I got in a car wreck, but now I'm here. You know, or my excuse for missing today was I got in a car wreck and I'm not going to be there today. I just accept that. Like Friday, I was late for work Friday. I woke up at 6:25. I was supposed to already be at work.
Yeah.
I stressed out, jumped up, got ready, email or text message the boss. Hey, I'm on my way in. Sorry, I'm late. I go to work. My boss doesn't give a shit why I'm late. The reason I was late was because my sleep was shit. And because I didn't go to sleep early enough, I was up a lot. So I didn't get enough sleep time, which means when my alarm went off, I hit my alarm and I shut it off or something. That doesn't even matter. Mm-hmm. The only thing that matters is I'm late.
Yeah.
Outside of that, nobody cares why. That's the outside of that. That's for me to adjust. Okay, now I know I'm late because I didn't get to sleep early enough. I've got to do this next time. That's for me to adjust to prevent in the future. But in those times when your ADHD kicks in or your depression or whatever, just do the things you need to do to adjust for next time. It sounds like to me personally that you just don't have enough inner space to deal with it. And then you get symptoms the next day because you're hyper focused and you're all jacked up, ready to do stuff. Then you didn't accomplish this because your ADHD kicked in and all this. Then you're stressing out because you got this. Just go with the flow. It's like me with these videos. It bothers me that I haven't got anything on my channel yet. It bothers me that I haven't set up anything yet besides the channel. You know, I haven't done the Instagram. I haven't done any of that other crap. Mm-hmm. That's okay. Like, I've got time. I've got other stuff that I need to do first. Eventually, I'll get to that point. But I'm not going to stress out about it. I'm going to do it on my time frame, what fits my life. This was a rough week at work. Had a lot of symptoms this week. I took more rest than I normally would have because I created that shit myself. That's an excuse. So now I get to adjust the next week. And you just keep building forward each time. Like, I think the biggest problem, it sounds like with you, is stress and anxiety. Anxiety from the stress from not having everything done. So what I did in the first part of my POTS treatment was you get POTS, okay, you're confirmed with POTS. Okay, here's a garbage bag full of everything you're going to need to know about POTS. And then they just dump it on your lap.
And you're like, oh
And you're
shit.
just covered with all this shit.
Hmm.
So after I freaked out first week or two, I was like, okay, let's start with one thing. Like, are we getting in hydration today?
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing enough element packets today? I started with one thing, 1 week.
Yeah.
Got my element stuff in. Now I'm on a routine with my element stuff. Now let's move to food. Let's concentrate more on food. You got to give yourself time to be able to work through stuff. You're not going to just do it immediately. It's not going to happen like that.
Yeah.
So I hope that helps.
Yeah, and I also think that the inverse is true too, right? Like the other day, I'll give you an example. The other day, I woke up at 5:15 to go to jiu-jitsu at 6 o'clock in the morning, right? And so, man, I woke up at 5:15 and I was like, dude, I'm way too tired. I didn't get enough sleep today, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? My son even came in my room at 5:30 or 5:45, whatever it was. He was like, Dad, you're supposed to go to jiu-jitsu. And I said, I'm not going today, son, or whatever, right? I think it's also okay to feel like shit that you let yourself down. It's also okay. However, again, the one thing that I will say about the chronic illness community and the mental health community, there's not enough ownership. There's just not enough self-ownership. Like, did you actually not do the things because you weren't able to, or did you not do them and you're using diagnosis as a crutch? I'm not saying that that's people's actual reason why, right? What I'm saying is that there's too much of this non-ownership shit, and we can come up with reasons for everything. The POTS community, a lot of things that I see from people is like, they're like, well, I feel like shit, so I can't get my steps in. I'm like, dude, you can get your steps in. There's no excuse to not get your steps in. You can walk around your house. Like, that's just not an excuse anymore, right?
Right.
Yeah, let's go to the chat because there's a lot. There's a lot so far. Sugimoto, if you really want some inspiration, look at the actor Tim Curry. Just look him up. The dude has had a massive stroke. It left him in a wheelchair. He's still working. Can't do many physical roles. Nice. Hey, look, dude, I've had a lot of my own clients that started in like they started in wheelchairs, and they started, they couldn't even shower themselves. Basically, they had like shower seats and all this stuff. And guess what? They don't let their diagnosis and even their mental, because every single one of my POTS people have a mental health diagnosis as well. But some of them are so dialed in and ready to make actual change that they don't let any of it be an excuse. And they're living thriving lives now, like very thriving lives now. But at the same time with Mick, they understand their capacities and they allow themselves the space in order to do or not do certain things. Giorgio Pazzazia, damn, this live is better than psychotherapy. That's because we're psychotherapists.
No.
No, we're not. No, we're psycho, and we are kind of therapists.
I'm in enough therapy.
Sugimoto, so to piggyback off of your message, what you're suggesting is adaptable to whatever your level is. I think it's important to note that because it can still give hope to those in more dire situations. Yeah, dude, adapt to your situation. That's exactly what we're saying. Adapt to your situation. And to piggyback off of the main thing that started this thing, just say no. If you're sick and you're going and doing things that you know are going to make you fall into like more symptoms, or they're going to make you crash or whatever, that's not adapting to your situation. That's literally self-sabotage. That's actually self-sabotage.
And Jazan mentioned that no anxiety, but when she feels good, she gets inspired and excited and believes she won't flare up, and then forget time, and then happy all day until the next day, and then the next day she's wrecked. Well, that's part of adapting, is understanding like, hey, I'm in one of those moments where I've got this and I'm ready to go.
Stay back.
Do you need to set a timer? Does somebody need to give you a reminder? Does like what can you do to give yourself a break in that, and then actually take the break? Like that's the trick, is you have to find your workaround, what's going to work with that.
One of the most common discussions that I have, and we had this discussion, is that when you're feeling good, that doesn't mean you take on everything. Yeah. That is one of the most common discussions that I have with clients, is when you are feeling good, that doesn't mean go crush it. That
Right.
means do what you would do on days that you still feel bad. Because if you do
Right.
what you would do on days that still feel bad and we're able to progress on those bad days, the good days are more plentiful. There's more of
Yeah.
them, you know, and that's what's so like I've said it a million times, Jazan. It seems like you have an issue with this. Not like you have an issue, but it seems like you have an issue with what I'm about to say. Is pulling back is so important, and
It's the
just
hardest part.
it's the hardest part. It's the discipline
Yeah.
part. Pulling back is the discipline part, and so I like when you feel good. That doesn't mean that you go do things that feel good people do. That
Right.
means that you do things that sick people still do. And then that gives your body a chance to recover, rest, recover,
Right.
and assimilate or acclimate, right?
Yeah.
Jorge Badillo, thanks for doing these lives. Not really much POTS content out there, especially from male perspective. Dude, absolutely. That's what we're here
Yeah.
for. Sugimoto also has a counter to the message you guys are putting out there. You got to recognize your limits and short pick your battles, especially for POTS. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking
Yeah.
about. Actually,
Yeah.
that's not a counter to our message. That's what we're saying. Sugimoto again, and don't get on your own case about having a bad day. Just pick it up from where you left off when you get your ability
Yeah.
to come back. Absolutely. But again, that's pulling back. Recognizing that you're having a bad day and then not doing all the things, right? Like not doing all the
Right.
things. Like again, but dude, I also think this. I think the self-love movement on the internet is the most retarded shit on earth too. Right? Like just like always be forgiving of yourself and always give yourself grace and all this stuff. No, dude, there is a time and place for
No.
both. There's a time and place for both. If you're feeling like shit, give yourself grace. More times than not, though, this is my experience. People aren't giving themselves grace. They're making excuses, right? And so,
Yeah.
like, give yourself grace if it's truly like when I'm sick, bro, I have a hard time chilling out. I have a hard time not going to the gym. And I have a really hard time giving myself the grace to be able to not go work out and not hit the gym super hard. Like, and I have to afford myself that kind of grace to be like, hey, you don't need to kill it today. Like you don't need you have the flu. You have 104 fever. You don't need to go get other people sick, and you also for sure don't need to get yourself even worse. It's something
Yeah.
that everybody struggles with. It's not just exclusive to POTS, by the way. Jazan goes, I have no anxiety. You already hit this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, yes, not holding back is my problem. Good tips, guys. I can use that. Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad that we
Yeah.
can find some common ground there for sure.
Yeah, find it, and you don't have to attack every part of it. Like in Jazan's case,
Yeah.
you don't have to attack every part of it. If you know that holding back is your issue, then the only thing you should concentrate on is that.
Yeah.
Start with that one, just that one. Just
Yeah.
put one up there, concentrate on that, work with that until you get to a point to where you're better and you've improved, and then move on to the next one. Because we have ADHD, we love shit just being dumped on. You can tackle
Yes.
50 things at once, but it doesn't work that way because you tackle a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this, and then you've gone nowhere. So pick one thing, work on that, and then adjust to the next one. Keep an eye on it, make sure it's in check. That's how you'll build your discipline. You won't build it overnight. It won't be super quick, but when you do build it, it'll be solid. It'll be really solid.
I think the toughest part for anyone in life is that we get these ideas in our heads and then we want to do all the steps right away instead of
Right.
taking it day by day. And it doesn't matter if you have POTS or if you're healthy, that's just how you burn out. Like
Yeah.
you're like if you're in school, if you're in college, right? You're not going to like you have homework in exercise phys, you have homework in philosophy, you have biology, you have mathematics or whatever. You're not going to pull out all your homework assignments at one time and do them all. There's no
Right.
way. There's no way you could handle that. So what you do is you maybe do social studies first. I don't even think I mentioned social studies, but you you pick one thing and you work on that. When you're done with that, you give yourself a little bit of a break. Unless you're one of the people that can handle going to the next thing. I damn for sure was not. And then you handle the next thing. Or what I would do, you know, it's the same thing with POTS, the same thing with getting better. It's just like handle one thing at a time. So Jazan, if your problem is pulling back, that's the discipline that you need to work on. Part of
Yep.
your pulling back will be if you're feeling good, don't do all the feel good stuff. It's
Yeah.
that, you know, it's that simple in air quotes, right? It's not really simple. It's freaking tough. But
Yeah, nothing about this is easy. The
Yeah.
dealing with not drinking or smoking anymore is not easy. Doing your steps isn't easy. Getting your hydration in isn't easy. Like even just the basic principle is accepting everything that's not completed as excuses.
mhm.
If this is my goal and I didn't complete it, everything before that is excuses.
Yeah.
The car wreck, the guy that wrecked into me, and that's what made me late for work. That's an excuse. You don't beat the shit out of yourself for it, but you just see everything as excuses.
For
And
sure.
and that's where in this community and in life in general, like, you are not supposed to take it easy on yourself all the time. There's different levels of easy.
Yeah.
If I fuck up and miss something that was important to me, I'm not going to improve by giving myself, I'm not going to improve by taking it easy on myself, so to speak. That's a loose term, because no, I'm not going to be happy with it.
No.
I'm not supposed to be happy with it. And that's okay that I'm not happy with it. Now, I'm not going to go beat the fucking shit out of myself for it. I'm going to beat myself up for it, but I'm not going to just completely level myself for it. But I'm going to use that as motivation to move through it. That doesn't mean that I'm like, well, I forgot to remember that when I get out of the car, I have to take the kid out of the car. So I'm not going to beat myself up for the kid dying. Like, yeah, you're going to beat the shit out of yourself for that.
Yeah.
But you have to take ownership on all this stuff first if you're going to improve on POTS. If you didn't hit your hydration levels or your salt intake or your food or whatever the fuck, that's your fault. Like, period.
Yeah, for sure. I think, there's some non-negotiables that you should beat yourself up for sure. And then there's other ones that you shouldn't. That's basically what you're saying, right? Like the simple shit is like if it's a really honest mistake and really stupid, it's kind of like, is it worth like going through the emotional torment of like beating yourself up, you know? And then like some of the big stuff that you know you need to do, like I feel like shit today because yesterday I didn't have my last packet of Element. Then you should call yourself a retard. You know, you should be like, yeah, I'm stupid for that. Like that was really dumb, you know? Sugimoto, LOL, ended up typing those messages just before you guys basically said that exact same thing. Locked into the same wavelength there. Yes, ma'am. Jazan, I'm going to write down my pattern of feeling good and what happens when I overdo it and all the shit I forget about, but should really remind myself of, because that should motivate me to pull back. That's a really good strategy for sure. Don't get in the trap of needing to write everything down though, and that's going to make the change, right? Like, I think it's a really good idea. I'm all about data. So when you feel good, awesome. So do it, but just don't get in the trap of like, I need to write everything down because it's going to be the magic pill. But yeah, I think that's great. It's a great way to go about it. Angela Burns. Angela, what's up? She's one of my clients from Australia. Overdoing it is my biggest issue. After my weekly chat with Justin last week, this was my number one priority for the week. Pleased to say I have smashed it so far. Let's get a round of applause for Angela. Good stuff. Sugimoto, or Jazan says, very nice. Sugimoto, I wonder if anyone else here shares the problem of decision paralysis. I find myself diving too deep into the tiny details where I end up doing absolutely nothing. Dude, this was this is grade A self-sabotage. And this was the one thing that I had to change my entire life, was being able to make a concise decision, not based on emotions. Well, partially based on emotion. Here's what I'll say about that. If it feels right and it makes sense, just do it. Don't even think twice about it. If it feels right and it makes sense. So like, for example, let's say that you want to buy a couch, right? If it feels right and it makes sense, that would mean like it feels right, makes sense. Does it make sense financially? Can I actually do it? Can I commit to these payments or can I pay it outright? But if it feels right and it doesn't make sense, like this couch is $20,000, I won't pay it off for like 4 years. That's a it feels right, doesn't make sense scenario, right? So it feels right and it makes sense. Take massive action, do it very fast, do it now, you know? Mick, you can read them out loud too if you want. Just interrupt me at any time and just say that you want to read them.
Yeah, I mean, the decision paralysis it'll stop you from a lot of things. Like, and I'm especially bad at it because Justin asked me like, why haven't you put up any videos? And I was like, well, I did. I put up videos, but then I deleted the YouTube. And he's like, why you delete the YouTube? And I was like, well, the email didn't match the name. That was the one fucking thing that stopped me from putting up any videos. Was the email wasn't right. It was a very tiny, small detail that could have been left. And then to date, there's a channel with the right email, but no videos. So like, your decision paralysis is going to hold you back from a lot of things in life. I
Oh,
mean,
everything.
and he even said like, you just got to do it. You just got to do it and move forward and let the little details slide. So this is currently something I'm working on myself. And
Mm-hmm.
you put in front of me somebody just broke in the house and blah, I know exactly what to do. Bam, right? You ask me where you want to go for dinner, no fucking idea. I've drove around for an hour and then came home hungry because I couldn't make a decision. So it's about setting yourself up for success around that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I've got stuff right now that I'm not 100% on, shit that I need to work on, but I'm taking it. I'm pacing it one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Fix this thing, then move on to the next. And I've got time for that because that's okay. And the one thing I've taken away from Justin's stuff is you got to be patient. You got to give yourself time. Like you can't just full bore into everything because you're going to have issues. So having pots actually helped me slow down in life and just accept like, okay, I didn't hit this today. That's fine. Tomorrow's a new day. Next week is a new week. But I don't just write that down and go, okay, I didn't make this because of this, and that's fine. I'm done. Because usually when you write stuff down, it's like your brain's like, well, okay, we already dealt with that. But you got to accept where you're at and really just take in reign of what that actually is, you know?
Yep, for sure. Do we have any more chats? Get a whole new rule set, but you can't start off everything perfectly. Best lesson I've been trying to take from this is that sometimes you got to stumble and F it up a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, there's no success without mess ups. There's
Right.
zero. There's zero.
You're
I
not
mean,
fucking up. You're not trying hard enough.
yeah. And I would even argue that you're not effing up. Like you're not messing up. It's trial and error, you know?
Yeah.
In life, like, again, you can't do any, like you just said, but you can't start off everything perfectly. And you can't start anything off perfectly. You just can't. You live and you learn and you figure it out as you go. You figure it out on your way. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people get wrong. Dude, screw this pot shit, right? It's one thing that everyone gets wrong just in general. It's like you expect that new business that you want to work on to just work out right away. You expect the new Instagram page that you started to just blow up right away. You expect the podcast. You expect the lawnmower to not run out of gas like the first time that you try it or whatever. Like all this shit, dude. You try it and you fail. You try it and you fail. And I don't even know if you can call it failures. It's just you try it and it didn't work out right away. It doesn't mean that it's not going to work out right. Like it doesn't mean that it's not going to work out. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. I just figured out how to make this website live. Let's freaking go. Mick,
Dude, it's like this. Check this out. So when you meet people,
yeah,
you meet different kinds of people, right? Everybody around you, if they're just accepting every part of you, then like my best friend doesn't accept every part of me.
yeah,
Like he accepts me for who I am. He knows what I struggles with, but he doesn't accept every single part of me. If we go into business together, he's not going to accept certain parts of me. He's not going to go into business with me. And there was a point in my life where I asked him, like, can we do this business together? And that was one of the times I vividly remember the look on his face and how I reacted, because he said, no, I think I'm good. And in that moment, that shit hurt because it's like,
yeah,
okay, I see why. Like, and
yeah.
there's a lot of ownership with that, you know, like if I go look for a high value person to be with, that person is going to have expectations of me.
Yes.
And if I can or can't meet those, I either get with that person or I don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's you have to accept the shit in your life and deal with it and move forward with it in some capacity. And if you don't, you just won't be around those people.
But bro, those are even the best people to have around you in life. I just read There's a proverb in the Bible, or is it Psalms? No, Proverbs, because there's 31 Proverbs or 31 Psalms. I forget. I don't know, dude. I'm a baby Christian. But it's one of those, whatever. There's 30 something. There's one for every day of the month or whatever. I think it's Proverbs. And one of the verses that I was reading, I think it was yesterday or maybe this morning, was something about like those who will speak the truth will be basically you'll be rewarded because, like, I don't know. It's something about like the best friends they have around you will tell you the truth and it's gonna hurt. You know what I mean? And it's like it's up to us to take it the right way or the wrong way. Like, you know, if somebody tells you something that stings and hurts, it's probably because there's truth in it. There's probably something there that's like an insecurity or whatever, or something that you know is a little bit true, but you didn't expect somebody to say it, something like that. And if it doesn't have any validity to it, it's not gonna bother you whatsoever. Well, some people, you know, non-truthful things might bother them, but I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
It's tough, man. Like, I just go off of this principle. If anybody says anything and I react to it in any way, good or bad, there's something in it that is mine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, I hated my grandmother for years. I didn't understand her at all. Then I found out later on, once I was old enough, the reason I hated her was because I'm like her. So I hated those things in her that were like me and the shit I deal with. And once I understood that, I understood the things that I wanted to work on. There were things I didn't like about myself, but I couldn't see them because I seen them in this other person.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
once you start to see stuff in other people, just take everything as like, well, I got happy about that, or I got mad about that, or I got sad about that. And then try and look in yourself and figure out, well, why would that affect me?
Yeah.
If there was nothing, if I had no skin in the game with it, then it wouldn't bother me at all. I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that we don't like qualities from or traits from, a lot of the reason why they bother us is because we can see that ourselves in that. Or we can't see that in ourselves. Yeah, I think that there's a lot to that for sure. All right, guys, what other questions do you have POTS related before Mick and I fall down the philosophical rabbit hole? Why is this private?
Hey, Jazan, I do want to say something to Jazan. Like, so I will get my ADHD will kick and I'll get hyper focused as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
It gets insane. I get so amped and driven to just 100 miles an hour. Next time this hits, take that moment to understand what you're doing, how you're reacting, and then choose to do something different. So if you're in the mode of, oh, this is so much fun, I gotta go, and then you go to drive into it, just stop and go, okay, I'm really hyper focused right now. I really want to do this. So I'm going to take a second to breathe and just know that I'm here. What do I want to do? Like, just throw that one question in and see if that helps a little bit, because it might give you some space to recognize things in a different capacity. Because if the brain realizes that there's a problem, it automatically starts to troubleshoot on how to get around or fix that issue automatically without you even thinking about it. So once you bring in awareness to it, it might give you a little more space to go, okay, I know what's happening. I realize it now. I'm aware of it. So I'm going to choose to do this instead. And then by you choosing to do that second behavior, you're creating a new neural pathway in your brain to go. Instead of hyper focused, we're going to go do this. You're going to go, okay, I'm hyper focused. I'm going to choose this. And then that becomes your new natural pathway to go.
Mm.
And that might help with, and when I say anxiety, anxiety doesn't mean that I feel anxious in a bad way. Anxiety could mean I'm anxious as fuck because I'm excited to do this shit. So realizing where you're at and that awareness in it is one of the biggest steps in it. Because if your brain can be aware of it, but yourself might not be, like your brain's just automatically doing shit. Brain goes, okay, I see this, body do this. And now
Yep.
you've got a decision in between those. Brain sees this, I recognize it, I'm going to choose to do this instead.
Yeah.
Like give yourself some space in that to be aware of how hyper focused you are or how ramped up you are, and then change it from that level. Don't go big, just start small. Being aware is your main goal here. That might help a little bit.
That makes sense. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Is that your Australian accent?
No, that's my English accent.
Oh God, dude.
That makes a lot of sense. I have no idea. Knitter Gritter, have you had any issues with hyperpots while driving on long road trips or getting anxiety on the road? Yeah, I feel like probably everyone has, right? Mick, can you take over this for a second while I go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Let's see. Decision paralysis. Oh, hyperpots and fucking road rage. Somebody can drop something loud around me and my fucking adrenaline kicks in. My adrenaline can kick in over the slightest thing. So when you add in traffic or anything else, fuck yeah. Are you kidding me? It fucking wrecks me. Being aware of how you feel and what you're going through is kind of the key to dealing with that. Being aware that I'm in traffic, this guy's a fucking asshole. I'm just going to let him be an asshole. There's a part of this for myself personally that I found to be limiting when it comes to pots. With my hyper pots in particular, the first time in my life that I ever felt relaxed was when I got medication for it. The medication I started on was Prozac, which helped the serotonin, but it didn't take care of everything. It wasn't until I took duloxetine, which actually pulls the norepinephrine or the adrenaline back out of your bloodstream, so it helps your receptors work better. That was the first time that I ever had a decision to make. That was the first time where I'm like, okay, I'm aware this is happening. I'm getting ramped up, but now I have the space for it. So like you guys got to decide like supplements or medication or none is part of your journey, then do it. Right now for me, I'm on duloxetine, so it helps me get that space. I'm a lot more relaxed. But later on, after probably about a year, I will see if I can go down on my duloxetine and then eventually off of it. But you got to understand, how many things come into play to set you off, and then do you have control over that? Or with hyperpots, are you just surging adrenaline left and right? Like those adrenaline surges, I couldn't stop at the very beginning, period. If I throw in diet and exercise and all this other stuff, it's a little better. For me personally, I'm going to wait till about a year out, and then I'll try and go off that medication. But that's where in the beginning I didn't have control over it. I would try and mentally just push myself through things, and it didn't really work that great. So you got to find your own route through a lot of this stuff. Your doctor's not going to know exactly what to take and when to take it, because your doctor doesn't know every little aspect of your life. You have to figure out what's helping you, what's hurting you, what's good for you, what's bad for you, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Does this work enough? Does it work too much? When I went on my duloxetine, I noticed that I'm more tired now. Is that tiredness coming from being dehydrated? Is it coming from not having the right foods? Is it coming from stress? Where's it coming from? And then it takes time to figure out where that's coming from too. So, yeah, There's and doing whatever you need to do until you get to that point, whether it's if you're on the road and your fucking head is throbbing and your blood pressure's fucking way up and your heart's racing, if you need to pull over and collect yourself, then do that. If you're inside a building, you need to step out, then step out. Let's see. Hibley, what medicine are you talking about? I don't. You said 60 milligrams, but I don't know exactly what you're referring to as far as medication.
Let's not give out medication stuff.
Oh, I'm not going to. So just to be clear, I can only speak on what I take. I'm not going to give anybody dosing because even when it comes to supplements, you guys have to understand critical things that are little before you understand if it's working or not. Like there's so many different factors: your diet, your hydration, your stress, the temperature of the day, what time of year is it? Like there's so many different factors that come into play with this stuff that me personally, I started on one fucking thing. And then I kept adding stuff once I got to a point where it worked for me. But you guys really got to understand that nobody is just dumping in stuff. Like my duloxetine that I take, that came after the Prozac. How many milligrams do you take? It makes hyperpots worse at 60. So the thing with POTS, I will say on this is every single person is different. Every single fucking person is different. Somebody with hyperpots will get 40 milligrams of propranolol. I was given 40 at first. It dropped my heart rate to in the 40s at just resting. And I kept dozing off and stuff because it was too much. The dosing that I needed in particular for me was, I think, 0.25 milligrams. That was enough to help me, but not be too much. So if you get into what type of POTS you have or how you're being dosed, that's where you work with your doctor closely. I email my doctor in the beginning damn near every fucking day to work through what worked and what didn't work. But that was also my own understanding that, like, should I be this tired or whatever when I take this propranolol? And it turns out no, because I didn't need that much. So when it comes to medications, that's you and your doctor are going to work with that. But a lot of that is you. If you go on a medicine, you need to understand like how you're feeling and why. So your diet, is your diet and your hydration levels and everything else on point with that. If it's not, then you're not helping yourself. You're not going to really find where that medicine helps or hurts you.
Facts. Truth.
My heart rate didn't increase from taking it.
I mean, the reason why I have such an issue with talking about medication, supplement, dosing, all this stuff is that because, guys, I mean, it is so variable. Like even diet, I don't even give my macros to people for the most part because then they're going to try my macros and they're going to see if it works for them. And will it work for them? Maybe, probably, you know, at like somebody who's a similar build or whatever, but like there's so many differences in our biology, our physiology that it doesn't even make sense to like talk hypotheticals about dosing and, you know, stuff like that. Because you might take a medication at 60 milligrams and then he's taking one at 40 and you tell him like, hey, yeah, I take it at 60. Then he talks to the doctor. Doctor says, yeah, let's try it. They go to 60 and he's like in panic. You know what I mean?
Well,
like whether we like to believe it or not, Mick, right now, like even with this small of a channel, like we have influence over what people are going to do. You know what I mean? Just because we're on like a screen on their computer or their phone, they're going to be like, these guys, like I'm going to do what they're going to do. You know what I mean? And that's part of the reason, guys, why I have so much issue. Like even like you can probably go to my supplement video and look at my stack, look at the bottles and then see the doses of the bottles and then hear all the stuff that I say or whatever. But I'll never fully outright give it because I don't want anybody taking what I do and using it for themselves. Like it's highly irresponsible for me to do something like that. And especially when we're talking about like actual compounds, you know, pharmaceutical compounds, it's even more, you know, because I agree there's time and place for pharmaceuticals. I think that they save lives, all this stuff. But we shouldn't be like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, my duloxetine, like the first medication provider that gave me my Prozac,
Yeah.
he's seen anxiety and all this other stuff, so he gives me Prozac. I'd been on Prozac before.
Okay.
So I take the Prozac, right? I go back to him and I'm like, do you know anything about POTS? He doesn't know anything about POTS. He doesn't want to learn about it. Okay, now it's time to change providers. So I emailed another provider that I had worked with previously, and I said, this is my situation. This is everything that's going on. Also, here's a genetic profile that shows which medications work and don't work with me. Okay, that was step one. Step two was talking to my doctor. Hey, I'm taking Prozac. This really doesn't work well. I've looked up online to see what other people had taken, because I did. I looked up to see what medications POTS people took.
Yeah.
Duloxetine was not on that list anywhere. Okay? So nobody else I knew was taking duloxetine.
Yeah.
I talked to the doctor and she said people with hyperPOTS can sometimes take duloxetine. So that might be something you can ask your medication specialist about. I go to the appointment with the medication specialist. We talk about how I've got POTS. She's got this genetic piece of paper that tells her which medicines do and don't work with me. She looks at it and she goes, well, that's why the medicines I gave you before didn't work, because right here, they're redlined where you're not supposed to take them. So duloxetine, let's look up that one. She looks up that one. It matches with your genetic profile. Let's give that a shot at a starter dose. And in a perfect example right here, Hibley was saying that it makes his hyperPOTS worse at 60 milligrams, right?
Right.
And he says his heart rate would go to 130 BPM for over a week nonstop on that, right? We are not the same. Because I can tell you right now that I don't have any issues at 60 milligrams. But that is me. That is not you. That is not anybody else out there. So when you guys look up and hear people talking about medicines, you got to understand, if you hear somebody taking propranolol and you go to your doctor and you say, hey, there's other people out there that take propranolol. Is that something that we can try? If your doctor decides that, then that's great. Your doctor's your doctor. But don't go in and say, can we try 60 milligrams of duloxetine? Right. Can we try 40 milligrams of propranolol? Right. Because there's going to be a particular thing that works for you. Me being tired, I haven't taken my B-methyl vitamins in 2 weeks. Do you think that it's a possibility that I could be tired from not having the B vitamin supplement that I take? It's a possibility. So can I now say that the propranolol or the duloxetine is the reason I'm tired? No, I can no longer say that, because I've got this other thing sitting there that could be causing that issue. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to start my B vitamins this week. I'll probably track to see how tired I am for the next 2 weeks, maybe 3. I make sure my hydration's on point, my sodium, my potassium, my food. I make sure everything else is good before I go to the doctor and I say, hey, I'm having issues from this medicine, I'm tired. Because if the doctor hears that I'm tired, she'll look at the medicines and go, okay, that's a possibility. But if I go to the doctor and I say, okay, I've been on B vitamins for 2 or 3 weeks now, my diet's clean, my hydration levels are good, my stressors in my life are down, I'm still tired and I'm not sure why. Then the doctor can look at it and go, okay, is there too much duloxetine? Do we need to eliminate the propranolol? Like, where are we at in this? Then the doctor gets a better idea of where to move from there. But you've got to do the work yourself. You've got to track a lot of this stuff, because a lot of your flare-ups, a lot of your issues are from the small details that lead to the bigger actions that happen.
People don't want to hear that, though. It's not sexy. Man. It's not sexy. People want that, like, immediate, like, what's the solution?
There's no fucking, the solution is you. That's your fucking solution. So with POTS, the solution's you. Solution's not in a medicine. It's not in the workout. It's not in the supplements. It's not in the sodium intake. The solution is you. Everything outside of that is what you're doing to help yourself. So if you're going to help your situation, then help yourself progress in life.
And man,
there's other things outside the POTS that affect it.
Yeah, and man, I wish you were wrong. I so wish you were wrong. I wish that it was just as simple as everybody wants it to be, but it's just like, it's just not. Like,
Could you imagine? Oh, you've got POTS. Here's a pill, and then it's fixed.
be sweet.
You know what would happen?
Huh.
Everybody would keep eating shitty foods.
Yep.
Keep not doing the steps. Not, they'd keep smoking weed, keep drinking.
What do you think that is with diabetes, right? Like diabetes,
it's not
here's
gonna
the thing.
You're not going to change anything in your life until it affects you.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
I didn't change a fucking thing in my life until I got POTS.
Yep. Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, these are causing the issues. These issues scare the shit out of me. So I'm going to stop doing these things. And then when I started to get better, you're going to have that time where you're like, okay, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go have a drink tonight. I'll go smoke some weed, or I'll go eat this food that I probably shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get symptoms.
Yep.
Okay, I can't do that. That's how you learn your boundaries.
You guys, I want to add real quick, shameless plug. I've now put my website in the description. Go hit that link in description. It's very, very just like minimal, but the website is published. I have some client testimonials on there. I'm working on others. Some people don't have. Some people obviously for obvious reasons didn't want to share pictures. But if you've ever questioned working with somebody one-on-one, here you go.
Thepotsolution.com.
Thepotsolution.com. I powered through and just did this one day. So this is like that ADHD thing that I was talking about. So yeah, it's not much, but it's just like enough for people to like go and see. Does the methodology work? Is it worth it? That's it. What do you think? Does it look pretty?
Well, it's giving me a... Let me see. Let me try something.
Click it?
I can click it, but my security certificate's giving me issues.
Oh.
There it is.
You see it?
Yeah, very nice.
Nice. Thanks, dog. So yeah. All right, guys, if you're in the chat, fixing to smoke a 12-ounce New York strip for dinner. Nice stream, y'all, like always. Head it out. All right, Knitter Gritter. Hope you have a good one, man. Enjoy your beef. You enjoy that slab of meat. Pause.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm gonna have a
This is badass.
website. You like it?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Sweet, thanks. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You guys in the chat, hit us with some questions real quick before we get out of here. It's been an hour and 51 minutes.
Yeah, throw some likes in there too, man.
Yeah, give us some likes. Like the video if you have been liking the content already. Dude, it's pissing rain outside right now.
Fucking Earth's getting a bath. I am too, apparently.
Dude, we've gained 2 subscribers since being on.
Nice.
Yeah, just got another
Welcome.
like. Fixing to smoke a 12-ounce New York strip. I wonder where he's from.
Clearly somewhere with cows.
For sure. He said, fixing to smoke a 12-ounce New York strip. Fixing to do it.
Midwest to the East Coast.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Midwest boys over here. At least me.
Oh, yeah, I'm from the Midwest.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever leave you. You just leave it.
Yeah. Dude, it's so weird going from the Midwest to other places. And I always, anytime that I leave, I'm like, damn, I love this place, dude. Damn, I love the Midwest. I mean, all the seasons, it's like my favorite thing, number one. Number two, the people are just like so much nicer here than everywhere else. Everywhere else. Dude, I got a question for you. I was watching this YouTube channel. Well, actually, we watch it like basically every night, called Kara and Nate. and they're just travel vloggers. It's like a couple, and they went to Portland in one of their videos, and he was like, I wish I would have done more research. He's like, to keep a long story short, we haven't had a good experience here. It's like the people that we did run into on the street, this was like COVID time, by the way, this video. He's like, the people that we ran in the BLM riots and all that stuff, he's like, the people that we ran into, let's just say, weren't necessarily who you'd want to represent your city if you were trying to
Yeah.
be like whatever. My cousin lived in Portland for a while too, and he said like he lived there during the rioting and all that stuff, and he said it was just absolutely insane. He got the F out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
He quit his job, he applied for a different one, got a job back in Colorado. Is it still bad out there? Like, is it?
Oh man.
Are you in Portland proper?
Yeah, so Portland well, it still is, but Portland used to be a really beautiful place. Like the homeless were cool, all the other people were cool, everybody got along. And then once they started to legalize weed, people started moving in, and then California moved up because everybody's got to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Once you've lived somewhere for so long, you kind of become where that is. So when people moved in, I think they had the idea that they would bring their place with them. And I think that's where the big changes came from. Portland used to be really hippie centric and really accepting of anybody. And then those people had a place to just be them.
Yeah.
But after a while, it became eccentric. So during the riots and stuff, I lived in North Portland, and it was crazy. The people that are real Oregonians, we don't like it either. We know what's there.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of started to move outside of Portland. I will avoid Portland as much as I can to not go down there for anything. But it's got its good points and its bad points to everything, like everything in life. So it just really depends on how you experience it and what you take from it. But it's kind of that way anywhere you go. Like a lot of people from other places moved into Idaho. Idaho is a different type of people. They will flat out tell you, we don't fucking want you here.
Yeah, for sure.
Portland is more like we just kind of stay away from certain types of people.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it all comes down to how people are. So it's got a lot of amazing things in Oregon, but yeah, it's changed. It's definitely changed a lot.
Yeah, I mean, even Milwaukee, like the city that I'm from, right? Like I don't know. It's so dangerous, out there. And yeah, what's interesting is like I feel like the hippie movement has now turned into like the radical movement, right? Like where they're just like, yeah, we accept everyone unless you're straight and a man and just like not different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I always struggle with that because I actually contrary to what people probably believe or think because of watching us or like even me by myself, like, dude, I consider myself categorically a hippie, like super hippie, right? I do all the hippie shit. I pray. I don't really meditate as much anymore, but I used to all the time. And like, I take care of my health a lot. I eat all organic. I try to not have fluoride. I believe in the Illuminati shit, like all that crazy stuff. But yeah, it's just like, I feel like the hippie movement has been totally freaking taken over by radicals.
Yeah. It's definitely different times. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm more hippie. I mean, I guess it's hippie, just like the good natural things in life are better. Processed shit, obviously you can live off of it, but it ain't gonna really help you that much.
Yep.
So I mean, I think a lot of people it's not even so much more hippie anymore. It's just more of a realist approach to life. But there's a lot of people out there that just a lot of things are radical now, and it's tough, man. When we grew up, I didn't have a lot of mentors around. There wasn't nobody running around town being like, hey, who can I help? It just comes from kind of what you experience and who you experience in life. So
yeah, there was no Jordan Petersons yet. No one to really tell you how to live your life.
Right?
Yep. Well, hey guys, is anybody still in the chat that wants to ask some questions? We'll answer just a couple more, but if you guys don't ask any, then I think it's probably a good time to dip out of here. We've done 2 hours. I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, where's all these angry Reddit people? I still wait for them to show up, but I'm disappointed every time.
I don't know, dude. I don't even know how that works. Like, can Reddit people see that we're live? Like, what's the deal with that?
I'm sure they can. They'll find it eventually.
Yeah.
Hibley's got a question though. Hibley.
Oh, he's an angry Redditor. That's what he's saying. Yes, him.
Oh.
Probably. Hibley's the one that always comes on here and causes trouble.
Hey man, everybody's got their questions, you know.
Yeah. No, Hibley is the one. Him and I got into an argument for like an hour and a half.
So he says issue with hydration after a crash, can't get enough liters in. So I will say that that's where I will say the one thing that helped me with hydration was coconut water.
That's so funny, dude. I just have to. That's so funny. Coconut water.
Yeah, coconut water helped me with hydration. Like I had some issues getting in hydration at first. I was dumping hydration, so if I took an element packet in the morning and drank a bunch of water with it, like I would just shit that out and piss it out pretty quick. It took time for my body to adjust to be able to hold on to nutrition and hydration. So there will be a little bit of a shift whenever you first start it. Coconut water was big though. So I suggest personally grab a case of coconut water from Costco or something. I personally do the Vita Coca. It's a better type of coconut, and it's got more potassium in it. But I would stick to coconut water and water. There's times where I dump coconut water in my water jug. And I personally feel like that hydration has helped held on with that. So a staple besides element is coconut water.
Yeah, I also think that 3 liters is kind of like an arbitrary number. 3 liters isn't necessarily everyone's target goal for hydration. It's like, how much do you weigh? You know, and then based on how much do you weigh, there's a mathematical equation that you would do. I'd say if you're like $160 plus, then yeah, you should probably get 3 liters in. Or no, I'd say like $180 plus, which is like 180 pounds. I know he's from the Netherlands or something like that. Like Jazand. But yeah, then 3 liters is about right. But I would say the most important thing is that if you've had a crash, making sure that you're getting enough sodium in and just drinking water where you can.
Yeah.
Belgium. He's from Belgium.
Dude, it's beautiful over there.
Is it?
Yeah.
I heard it's so ugly compared to the States.
I don't know. You're good. You're just trying to.
I heard it's so ugly. I'm just kidding. I love that he said, "Bro, don't start it." That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh God.
Wait, if he's on Reddit and he's from Belgium, he's probably a hacker.
What's that?
We have wooden houses. I do have a wooden house.
What do you have? Ceramic? Yeah. What are you talking about?
They build them out of concrete?
Yeah, what's happening? Wooden houses, yeah, for sure. But our basements are made out of wood. But you guys don't, they don't even have weather like we have, right? Like there's no tornadoes in Belgium. Who's ever heard of
you ever been through a tornado?
Yeah, who's ever even heard of a tornado on that side of the planet? I got stuck in a tornado storm 3 weeks ago on the way home from Missouri. That was crazy. Yeah, that's fun. Do they have any extreme weather in Belgium? Like, dude, besides snow?
Shit about Belgium.
Do you guys even have snow? Twister taking your house. No, I picked it up like Hercules and threw it away.
If you live in a trailer, you could just move it.
Truth. Rain. That's it. See,
Dude, I
you guys,
love rain.
I do too. It's raining right now. It's pouring out.
I live in the Northwest, man. So like, I like my forest and I like my rain.
Yeah, you get the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys don't really see much sun out there, right?
It's gotten better, but yeah, it's a little overcast a lot of times of the year.
Yeah. Hibley, do you have a girlfriend or a wife? Who else has questions? Hop on here and give it. Dude, we have a good view duration too with these lives. Like people stay on.
Yeah, I like a lot of the people that come in, man.
Yeah. She left after you got COVID. Dang.
She wasn't worth it then.
No, for sure not. Was she
Dude,
afraid?
dude, I had, yeah. Yeah, that shit's real.
You
Like,
can go up. You can say it.
well, like when I had issues a while back from it, like I was with somebody and they didn't have the space or capacity to deal with it. And I'm not mad, like certain people can handle things and other people can't. Like you let those people go and then thrive in your own space because that other person's sitting there waiting,
Yeah.
Like it's tough, but if they ain't gonna stick through you through something little like this or like COVID, then see ya.
Women don't have the capacity to see men weak.
Dude, being vaccinated ain't gonna stop you from getting COVID. See, there's your problem right there.
She was
Just
pissed
didn't
off,
know.
crying and punching me that I should have gotten vaccinated. She punched you? Well, that's stupid. What do you do in Belgium when a woman punches you?
We don't even try and tell her. We just let her walk on.
Right. Did she get vaccinated? Like, dude, what? It doesn't even prevent you. They knew that too. They knew that it didn't prevent you from getting COVID.
Dude, not everybody knew that they knew that.
Yeah, that's facts. That's true. I'm curious as to what the other side of the world was going through because I feel like, okay. COVID was obviously a political ploy for the United States, but what was the experience in other portions of the world? I'm so genuinely curious about that. Were people watching us as the main stage for how to handle COVID or what was going on? Were they like, Donald Trump is saying all this shit? Or were they, cause I just feel like somebody on one of my reels posted, and this is how retarded some people are from other countries. But I posted something about the Donald Trump attempted assassination, and the person goes, "You guys live in a country where you can get an AK or an AR-15 at a supermarket," but saying how easy it is to get firearms here, dude. I bought an AR-15 years ago, bro. I bought an AR-15 years ago, and it took 4 weeks to get approved, and then it took me. Well, from there, it didn't take that long to pick up the gun, but it took me forever to even get approved to get an AR-15. So it's not as easy as people would like to believe. What?
Dude, it's everything is different all over the world. So a lot of that stuff I don't even speak on really. There's certain things I don't talk about just because it's my personal right to have or do certain things, so I don't feel the need to express it to everybody else. But if you go to the Middle East, you can get a fucking gun pretty fucking easy. If you go over to
Mexico,
what's it called? No, if you go over to what's that place called, man? The big fancy one.
Dubai?
Oh shit. You know that big fancy high tech country?
Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai.
Yeah.
It's going to be easier to find a really nice fucking car.
Yeah.
It depends on where you're at. If other guys have it, then cool. But yeah, Hibley's right. It's about pots. Fucking, we got all sidetracked.
Yeah, we did. No. let me tell you something about Hibley. on the live that we like got into our fight, him and I, he was like, he told me that I space out a lot during conversation or during like lives or whatever. I'm like, Hibley, it's the middle of the day in America and I run 2 businesses. I'm not spacing out. I'm handling emails, dude. You know, and then the other thing was, I mean, it's funny. Like it's funny banter with him, right? I don't take it, Hibley. I don't take
Yes.
anything personal. Our argument was funny. The reason why I didn't post it on my page was because it's not valuable for anybody, so I don't want to have it up. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I didn't put the live public. But then he said that on our first one, our first live together, that the same thing was happening. And I watched our first live probably 4 times and there was 0 dead space at all. No dead space. It was concurrent, constant conversation and it flowed. So I was like, this dude is just a troll. Just a troll. But it is what it is.
It explains it. He's from Reddit. That makes sense. It
Yeah.
checks out.
That's so funny. How do people find, well, okay, let's make it about pots. Hibley, tell us a little bit more about the COVID thing in pots in Belgium. I'm genuinely curious. How did you guys handle that? Were you guys watching America as the main stage for how to move? Why can't it be about pans? No. Oh, he said no. Okay. Well, I guess we're just not that great. Probably because Donald Trump's not president right now. America's
Oh
not great
gosh.
again.
No, keep the politics out. Fuck that.
They have expert panel. Got it. Yeah, dude, trust me, this presidential race is a joke. So I don't talk about it with anybody. All right. Well, Hibley, unless you have another question, I think Mick and I are gonna hop out of here. What do you think, Mick?
Yeah.
He said
Dude, Hibley.
Kamala. Ha, ha, ha.
Hibley, go to Reddit and bring the Reddit people with you.
Nah,
Dude,
bro,
there's
I'm
just
Gucci.
the reason I'm on the Reddit people is because there's so many people that get on Reddit and it's just fucking horrible. And then they drag everybody else that's looking for info down with them. Like all the Reddit groups, like the POTS Reddit groups and shit like that. Like I want other people on there to know that there's more to POTS than just this is it and this is managing life is just laying on this fucking bed.
Some people just can't be saved, dude.
Yeah.
You guys obsessed with Reddit, YouTube all the way. Here it goes. Here goes the trolling.
See, I'm obsessed with Reddit.
Yeah. I don't know shit about Reddit. I have 0 clue how it even works. That's the honest to God truth.
Okay, so like on here, me and you have our faces here, right? That's one thing when you have your face. When you have an anonymous name and no face,
Yeah.
you have a whole realm of shit that you're gonna say and do. And
It's all anon, all of it.
yeah, pretty much.
That's why it's so like grotesque.
Yeah.
Huh. But I hear from friends. Like one of my friends said that he likes Reddit because you can find answers to like almost anything. He like learned how to rewire some electrical circuit in his house through Reddit. Yeah.
I mean, I had a guy tell me that once. I was like, I went over to his house and he's like, yeah, his plug's sparking. And then I went through and looked and I said, who did you have do this? And he said, I did. And I said, well, where did you learn to do this? And he said, YouTube. And I was like, don't ever do that again. Like,
You might set your house on fire, brother.
Yeah, when you plugged into his sockets, all his plugs were shooting out sparks and shit. It was funny as hell.
So that's why.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh, man. All right. Well, guys, thanks so much for watching. You good with this, Mick? Feel good about this one?
I'm good. Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks so
We
much
gotta do
for.
that weed video though. Everybody's fucking wanting to know about the weed video.
Yeah, I think that we can do it. Let's
I think
think.
we should do a video outside of a live though.
Yeah, we can do that for sure. Um, you'd have to film that one
Okay.
because I don't know nothing about nothing, with smoking weed anymore. We got another chat. So, how much healed are you? For example, 50, 70, 100. And what symptoms do you still experience? All right, you go for it.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
So I'm 3 or 4 months in, right, from diagnosis. Before that, I'm 3 years prior, just like everybody else, trying to figure out what's wrong. So this is not shit that we've just run into. With Justin and his help, I've went from laying on a couch, missing day after day of work, to going back to work, being able to be in hot conditions, being able to be in environments that would set me off previously. I don't know about a percentage, but as far as symptoms, you're not going to be able to just rid yourself of all your symptoms right away. And there could be a case where your symptoms never go away, right? It's possible. With that said, I can go out and live a normal life. I can't run up a flight of stairs yet without being out of breath.
No one can.
Right. Yeah. So there's certain things that I'm limited to. Like, for instance, if I want to go to the middle of the desert and have no water, I'm going to have issues, right? So with that said, like, for being 3 months in and not being on a couch anymore and not being limited to hot water or hot weather or hot water, taking a shower, like, I'm pretty fucking well recovered. Like, I was so well recovered at 3 months that I started throwing in everything that would cause me an issue because I wanted to see what that end was going into that too.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty fucking well recovered with the workouts and the lifestyle changes and everything else along with that. I don't have a lot of symptoms. I'll get symptoms from being out in the fucking heat all day, but I also know what to do right after that to help myself so that I can avoid other symptoms. So as far as symptoms, I don't have too much terrible symptoms that come up. I haven't hit a really bad flare up in 2 months. Like, I don't remember the last time. That's why I threw everything bad in, was to cause really bad flare ups. But even with everything I've done, I haven't hit a really, really bad flare up in a really long time.
Yeah.
So everything else in it that I've done is just to avoid all the flare-ups and all the life's issues. So I still have POTS, I still have symptoms, but I don't have debilitating flare-ups that make me miss out on a bunch of shit anymore. I have manageable flare-ups, I have manageable symptoms, and I have manageable POTS.
Yeah. And then so I guess like 50, 70, 100%, like I think they're like, it's all arbitrary, right? Like none of the percentages or anything really matter. They like say anything or whatever. I couldn't give you a percentage either on like how recovered I am. What I will say is that I am not held back by my POTS whatsoever. I do everything that I want to do. I compete in CrossFit. I was training twice a day, minimum 4 hours a day for a long time. I was even drinking alcohol for a long time. Like, I did a whole bunch of stuff. I don't feel held back by my POTS whatsoever. And I think that everybody can get there. It's just a matter of like figuring out a plan for you. So if you need help with that, go hit the link in my description, check out my website, look at the client testimonials, and then shoot me an email. But he said, awesome. I hope to get to that point one day. It's absolutely possible. You can do it. You just have to have a plan in place. Hibley says, you guys have neuropathy. Yeah, I've had neuropathy a lot, but I'm not 100% sure what it's from.
What's neuropathy? What do you mean?
Neuropathy is like tingling or burning in your appendages. So like,
oh yeah, dude.
Like, yeah, but I struggle.
See, I got shit I don't even know about.
Yeah. It's like pins and needles sometimes, but I struggle knowing if that's from the B complexes, like the B vitamins and stuff that I was taking for a while, or it can be burning too. Sure. Tomato. But yeah, from too much B vitamins, or like it happens with POTS, but it happens with a lot of things too, like nerve dysfunction, nerve damage. stuff like that. So I think that when people like act as though it's exclusive to POTS, like it's not. It's not. Like there's a bunch of people that have neuropathy. Older people, older populations get neuropathy as a bunch.
And like the thing with is a lot of this stuff, like, because I started off when I first got POTS and looking into it and discovering what type of POTS I have, because I'm 41, but I went as far as to understanding that I have POTS hyperadrenergic. Everything past that doesn't matter. I know I have this type of POTS, and that helps me address that type of POTS. But outside of that, if I have another symptom, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's coming from POTS, or some symptoms could come from POTS, but not always. So
yeah,
in the end, once you start getting better and you start learning how to adjust to your symptoms in your life, you stop giving a shit where or why it came from anywhere. You don't care. You just know that this is what I do to avoid that, and then you move on. So
yeah,
a lot of stuff about this is really handling it and dealing with it and then moving on from it, because you won't really have that struggle as much anymore, or your symptoms will be a lot less than they were.
Yeah, 100%. What did Linkin Park say? In the end, it doesn't even matter.
That was spot on, dude.
Yep. Hubley goes, diabetes. Hubley, that shit burn when you crash. Hubley's got like a freaking like urban like vocabulary, bro. I didn't.
Dude, that's the Belgianese in him.
It's like, dude, it's like he's from the American hood, bro.
Dude,
like,
maybe it's a Belgian hood.
It could
maybe
be.
We just don't know about it.
Could be. He said diabetes, Moroccan.
Moroccan.
Oh, okay. All right. Nick Gerard, I don't have diabetes though. Hubley, no, it can cause it. Aha, you funky today, Moroccan. Yeah. Diabetes is like the main complaint is usually neuropathy, because the blood sugar has an effect on your nerves. Yeah. So I've had lots of clients with really bad neuropathy.
Yeah, and see, I keep my sugar in check. I have diabetes on my mom's side, so there's diabetes in the bloodline too. I made it a point to address diabetes early on so that I didn't progress to anything with diabetes. So like I use honey and fruits and stuff to help with my sugar levels, but eating sugar, if I go ahead and eat a bunch of sugar, it fucks me up. Yeah, I have a limit to where I just don't crave sweets anymore. I eat the fruits, and then I eat honey and stuff. It's about maintaining that to avoid that. But because I do, when I sit down and stuff, or I'll get neuropathy in my legs or my feet.
Yep.
Or like when I used to go to sleep and I would feel like something bit me, like I didn't know that was neuropathy.
Yeah. Also, what's it called? Maple
what the
syrup.
Hell's WordPress?
I don't know, dude. Everybody else has a way better way of doing things than I do, I guess. So I don't know. I used Squarespace to create the website. WordPress, I think, is another. I think it's like another website generator. To be honest with you,
Belgium. He probably knows, man.
He probably does know. They're more sophisticated than us on that side of the world.
No, like in Finland and shit, like they're all computer people. We are really? Not computer people. I know we look like devs and computer people, but we are not computer people.
Bro, people assume because I have a podcast and I like do YouTube and stuff, and I have social media accounts or whatever. They assume that like I know anything about like technology, and I don't know shit. I don't know shit about technology.
It's a secret though. Don't tell nobody he doesn't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know. To be honest with you, the website is literally just because I think there's value in letting people see testimonials. That's basically it. So like my Instagram, it doesn't really drive a bunch of business because I don't really post about, well, actually it does, but I don't really post a lot of testimonials or anything like that. And I think that the lives get a lot of views, the actual videos get a decent amount of views. So I just want people to see. You know what I mean? See what can happen or whatever. Like, so I don't know, man. It's not
It's a
for,
good start, man.
yeah, I mean, but the website, like, I'm not intending on it being like a source of information or like, I don't know. I was thinking about maybe putting a newsletter out or something, but there's like, I don't know. Again, it's just to show people it works. Stuff works. And like, I haven't even contacted all of my previous clients or anything. Yeah, it's a good start. Decent start, I think. Something is better than nothing.
Yep.
Always, right?
Yeah, because
Always
my
something's better than nothing.
website sucks.
Do you have one?
Fuck no, I haven't started that shit. That's why it sucks.
Got it. Yeah. And nothing is better than nothing. I don't know. Maybe Hubley can design us a website together.
Dude, maybe Hubley can be the internet guy. Just create the shit.
Dude, I invited Hubley on live and he wussed out, dude.
Each their own, you know. It took a lot for me to get here.
He didn't wuss out. He said that he would come on the next day. And I said, no, dude, you're going to lose your opportunity. It's right now or never. And I didn't let him come on. Stop the cap. I guarantee you Hubley watches Fresh and Fit. Nick Gerard. Nick Gerard. I've had POTS for about 23 years, but only recently got diagnosed after seeing a specialist in Chicago, despite living in Argenta, Illinois, a small town 3 hours away. Doctors always dismissed it as anxiety. Yeah, that's everybody's story, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That's everyone's story. Nick, I would suggest getting in contact with me via email, but that's everybody's story. Everybody gets dismissed at least 20 times for anxiety because a lot of the symptoms are akin to anxiety, like they're similar. And so, yeah. Hubley, stop the cap. Hubley, you stop the cap, bro. Go watch Fresh and Fit yell at women. Do you know that show, Mick?
No, dude. I don't watch TV.
No. It's a YouTube. It's like a podcast.
I don't even watch YouTube.
Oh, you don't? It's so funny, dude. These two guys, they're like, they do a lot of the talk on the high value men, and women stuff and dating.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
These two black dudes.
Dude, this is my high value woman right here.
There you go. How old is she?
We don't know yet.
You don't know?
Or I guess I don't. She doesn't either, though.
When'd you get her?
I don't remember. I got a horrible memory, man.
A long time ago?
Not too long ago. It's been some years.
Yeah. Nice. She's cute.
Yeah.
Oof.
She said thank you.
All right, guys. I think that's going to be it. We're at almost 2.5 hours. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can reach Mick if you hit one of the links in the description, which is the Positive POTS community tab. You can reach him in there if you join our men's group or our normal workout program, the Positive POTS community. You can reach him in either of those. We're trying to build up the men's group, the men's POTS group. Otherwise, if you want to reach me, go to my website or hit my email, jqfit1@gmail.com. Sifting through emails right now. I have 7 spots left for online clients for remote coaching. So make sure you get one of those right away. And then Mick, I think I have your PayPal still in the...
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
and
dude.
the men's POTS community, man. Like somebody got on here earlier and was like, "Great, it's for men." There's not shit out there for men. So what we're trying to do essentially is, and when you guys get in there, if you join it, feel free to make an anonymous name because we talk about everything from dick issues to daily life issues to fucking men shit, and that's all the stuff that guys don't want to talk about everybody with, you know. So. That's where we're hoping it's going to be something catered specifically to men and our issues because we're in a woman-dominated chronic illness. Yeah. I hate that fucking shit, chronic illness. It doesn't – I guess it's a chronic illness, but it just seems like a cop-out word. You know what I mean?
It's chronic illness just because, like, you don't know when it's going to end. You know, that's about it. That's basically all it is. And, like, I don't think it's chronic in terms of, like, it's never going to go away. The data would actually suggest otherwise. But yeah. All right, guys. So anyway, if you want to get a hold of us, those are the ways to get a hold of us. Go hit the links in the description down below. Get some Thirdsy, get some Paper Street Coffee, get some membership to the men's group. Get a, do one-on-one coaching with me, remote coaching. And then if you want, donate a couple bucks to the PayPal, because we are still on the mission to help Mick get some equipment, i.e. a microphone and a 4K cam. So if you wouldn't mind helping out with the mission so that we can continue bringing you guys sick, quality, dope content. Hibley, you need an alternative for what? For PayPal? What do you guys take out in Belgium? I take bank account numbers. Give me the alternative. What would actually be the alternative for real?
Are we talking crypto?
Just send me bank. I'm not sending you the bank, brother. You guys don't do like direct deposit or like, what is IBAN?
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. Hubby, you on the next live, you give me something like a Venmo or a Cash App or PayPal that other countries do, because I have zero clue what y'all do over there. Your account. Yeah, right, dude. Yeah, right. All right. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope that you did like it. If you did, thumbs up. Or, Hubby, I can just send you an invoice. How much do you want to donate to mix equipment fund? I'll send you an invoice. Give me your email and send me the invoice. Or give me your email. $20? All right, let's do it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Give me your email right here. I'll send you an invoice. You know it? Oh, I do. Actually, I do have it. I do have it on the app. I have it. Good point. All right, dude. Well, we appreciate that. I'll send you out an invoice. We'll see if it gets paid, and then I'll ask Mick to give you a formal. Maybe he'll like wear a crown and a jester's outfit, dude, or something.
Should I do formal thank yous? Send thank you videos out?
Yeah. What's that thing called? There's an app for that. What's it called?
I don't remember. I heard something about it.
Oh my gosh, I forget what it's called. Cameo.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, Cameo. Yeah. Steve-O does that. All right. Well, anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out. Goodbye. And